Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome,
How are
welcome.
you doing?
Great to see you all in here, guys. So glad you can make it. Yeah, man, we're all in for a treat tonight. I love this channel. We actually do love it. We watched it for 2.5 years or so now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, it's very interesting since we already kind of had an impromptu live stream for or with, I don't know how to say it, with this guest.
Yes.
We had a pop-up live stream trying to help this amazing creator to get to 100K. And you guys were amazing. You were there supporting him and us and him through us. That was so amazing. And he agreed to come on the interview on our channel.
And that is so
It just
cool.
looks so cool. Yes.
And like I say, we never had talked to him before. We've watched him, but had no there was no him asking us to help or anything like that. It just happened that he was live when I went to bed that night after we were done our live stream, and seen him on. And it was pretty crazy. It was a lot of fun. There were such good sports about it as well, and they were playing music. And you guys got him 158 new subscribers. In what was it again?
Well, I think it was less than a half an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that
It was 32 minutes
unbelievable.
altogether. 32 minutes
32
and 14
minutes.
seconds.
Yes, and there were multiple creators that have opened their live streams up to send them to our live stream, so we can send them to the Traveling Clat
And I want to do that right
channel.
off the bat. I want to thank people like BNO Outdoors, Chris, Farmall Fanatic, Gills Kills, all those guys that just, without even batting an eye. And why that meant so much to me. We've talked a lot about the spirit of YouTube, and I that was a big pet peeve of mine. I found some channels really like hating on big channels, and oh my god. But you know what? He's worked at it since 2008. Not every one of them starts off like Jake Paul type of things that are kind of geared for success. And he has worked so hard on his channel, and nobody sat there and said, well, God, he's trying to get to 100 and I'm just trying to get to 50. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was so amazed that everybody just took the bull by the horns and looked at us as another fellow YouTuber. That's what meant the most to me through all of it. Didn't know from A to Adam, some people. He had a bigger number than a lot of us do, and everybody helped him the same way as somebody was trying to get to 1K or something like that. And that speaks to people having a bond on here, that we're not just a social media. We are a step better than that. So
And
Nomadic Bike
like
Raid.
Nomadic Bike,
Yes.
who is regularly rating us
So kind of
after
him.
ending his live streams, and so people over here when we start. That is so amazing. Thank you so much, everybody joining us from Nomadic Bike. Thank you, Nomadic Bike.
And please know how much we appreciate it. You really are an awesome channel. And guys, you don't want to move a muscle tonight, because you know what? You're going to hear a story. A lot of us are in this, and now he can kind of pay back to us what we did for him by listening to the venture over all these years to create a channel like this, and all that went into it. And that, I think, is quite motivating. So you're definitely not going to want to miss what he has to say.
And we always want to hear insight from bigger YouTubers, meaning that they have been here longer than us, maybe.
That's right.
They have gotten their subscribers much more than we do, and maybe they have another insight into what YouTube is. Like Sean, for example, was our last live streamer interview. He had amazing, fresh insight on what YouTube
Oh my God,
is.
yeah.
So you never know. You gotta listen and see what these YouTubers have to offer. Yes, Sean Warren Show.
Yeah, guys, I mean, it's amazing if somebody would agree. I've been telling people that, like, if you missed it, go back and watch it, because there's somebody with 3.4 million subscribers, biggest video is 480 million views, total views altogether 1.75 billion. That's the stuff that you pay to go to VidCon and see. He gave it away for free.
Yeah.
Just because he cares about YouTube. Like, I mean, that is phenomenal. I mean, there's no price tag on that. It doesn't cost you much more than your time to watch it. So if you haven't watched it, definitely go back and check it out. I mean, he covered all bases, of getting on this platform to where he is now. It's so great to see all of you in here, and I'm going to call everybody out in just a second, guys. Have no fear. Have no fear. I definitely will. I'm just was looking here to see if I could get back when they hit. They were getting there close. They were playing their ukulele. I was just trying to find a clip of it. That was so amazing.
Yes, and definitely it's also in the iCard up there and in the description below. You can see both his live stream and our live stream as a part of this 100K celebration.
I'm answering a question here. Go Rhea, good question. Why is it timed out? No self-promotion in here of any type, no bells, anything like that, any of the abbreviations. It takes 30, 40 seconds to write a line to somebody. Just talk to people like as we would regular human beings in day-to-day life. That was the reason why I know I did it a while ago, so hope that helps. Love the footage, very cool. Yeah, it was an amazing night. It was so much fun. So much fun. Oh, good evening, youngins. Lulu Love You's in here all the way from Nova Scotia. Great to see you.
Just Reviews for You is here as well. Silver Giveaways. Hello, the G family. Hi, how are you doing? Go, Raya. Be good today. A Finger Wagging and Down the Rabbit Hole Travel, who we rated, guys, yesterday.
Yes.
And we didn't even know. She was the first guest on our live stream, season 1, the very first one. And we were the first raid on her channel, which I was so surprised and excited at the same time. So Down the Rabbit Hole Travel, also amazing travel channel that have been with us forever. Check her out.
In the Woods of Wolfie, how you doing? Great to see you. You don't really want me to talk to people like that, do you, Andrew? LOL. I actually like the people here.
And In the Woods with Wolfie was there yesterday as well, and he said he doesn't like the running chat during our shoutouts. Today is going to be much more chill out chat, much more enjoyable, I think, for you. So I hope you can stick around.
But guys, I hope you can keep it lively and tweet it out, hit the like button, and do tell friends, because we have a really cool guest on. I think it's great that as many people get to see him as possible, and it's great for the guest as well. They deserve it. He's got a lot to bring to the table. These are the nights where you really see the YouTubers that like what they do, because they'll stay for this one because they're really getting some good info out of it as well, the story behind it.
Yeah, something that you're never going to read anywhere else, and you're not going to be able to watch it anywhere else, but here they're dropping their golden nuggets here.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, travel and food. He is a travel addict and a foodie as well, so lots of our passions shared there as well.
The first time we found him was we were looking for videos. We were thinking of doing a trip by freighter ship that hauls containers, not a cruise or anything like that. And he had a series of videos onto it, and that's how we originally had found him. So that was very cool. And he's done all kinds of, I like his type of adventure. He's kind of like us, a little bit off the beaten path type of thing and stuff like that. And these videos cover the globe in different areas, but always kind of not like, here we are at this 5-star hotel and we rented a convertible for the day. It's real true traveling, in my opinion, in the truest sense of the form. So yeah, it's going to be cargo ship. Thank you so much, Hope, respect. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Laj is here as well, and they enjoyed. Nice. He and some of other people as well enjoyed your earlier live stream from the flooded waters.
Yeah, I wasn't too far from Laj. I was getting close to his area. I hope you're not affected by the flood. I hope you're not too close to the water, my friend.
Yeah.
It's they say it's going to get worse before it gets better, so that's just hope and pray for them. Not too many people have too much damage or lose their home. So so many people in here. Yeah, I got to start calling out channels. I got to start saying hi to everybody. It is great to have you in here, and thank you for asking how I was doing and stuff like that today and now. I do appreciate it. I'm semi on the mend, I guess would be a fair statement. So, but not feeling as bad as I did last night. I'm sorry, that hit so fast and so hard, and you guys were so kind. It once again, it's amazing how much you guys really do care about us. It's actually kind of mind blowing, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, everybody was yesterday asking in the streams that I went to, how are you doing?
it means a lot, guys. It really does. We're with you a lot to the week and that, and I'm glad that you guys feel close and comfortable enough with us like that. So it means a lot. Thank you so much for the kind words. But let's get some echo going here. Let's have an arena-sized welcome, as we always say, to bring you guys in, because you guys are always the stars of the show, except for tonight when we have a guest that's the number one star, and you guys are definitely what complements all of it. So I want to say a great big hello to Wood Pigeon Outdoors. I want to say hi to Willie Will and Stephen Eats. To some discoveries, how are you? And the G family, nice to see you. Tara Cope, how you doing tonight? We also got Teacup in the house. Stingray Steve is here. South Rooted Outside Outdoors. We got Silver Giveaways in the house, folks, as well. And also Rick Halliburton is here, guys. Rick Halliburton in the house. We got Railroad Preserver 2000. Oh my God, it's been a while. How are you doing? Good to see you. PS4 Pro Gamer, how you doing, as well as Playworthy. We got Nomadic Bike, who is so kind with the raids. Thank you so much, my friend. Loved you since the day I met you. Nickel and Dime, how you doing? Great. I think you're from East Oakland, you said just a little while ago. Well, much love to you. Thank you so much for being here, and much love right back from here in Montreal. Nay and the boys in the house. Mysterious Shadow is here. Michelle Reviewing is in the house, as well as Lulu Love You. And Louis Fuller's here. As Luella Chamberlain, how you doing? Great to see you. Lodge 51 is in the house, folks. Lodge, our neighbor here in Montreal. Kicking it with Karen's in the house, Beyond Sauerkraut, as well as Jenny O'Brien and Jenny Morris, the two Jennys. How you doing? We got Jeff's reviews for you in the house, and Jackie, how do you food reviews, and In the Woods with Wolfie's in the house, as well as Hope Respect. We got Helen Casey in the house, as well as Grant McIntosh. Grant, thank you so much for posting the links for today in the impromptu live stream. You are awesome, my friend. We got G-Man's World in here, as well as Fox, the smartest dog in the West. What an amazing channel name. We got Elite Grooves in the house, guys, as well as you've heard already, Down the Rabbit Hole Travel. Marty, our very first guest we ever had, almost a year ago. We're getting close.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think it was already a year ago.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, March 29th, and we did a couple days later. So, yeah, it's already a year. Oh, my God. They grow up so fast.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Dangerous Criminals, how you doing? Great to see you, as well as Coffee Music. There's my buddy Roger, Canadian Drone Hub is in the house, as well as Bias Radio. And then we have Big Rob, a.k.a. Godfather Scratcher. Is that not the greatest channel name?
I know.
I even feel my blood pressure raising when I get to say it. I get excited. Ben's As Cool is here. Welcome. Great to see you, as well as Ashley Beauty. April and the fam is in the house. Alex Gomes in the house. And Above and Beyond Global Drones. Welcome to each and every one of you. If I missed your names, guys, a big hello to you. We got the MX Guru. We got Ralph Morick in the house. We missed our anniversary candlelight dinner. That's right, Marty. Oh, that's actually a shame. Too bad we didn't do something more for that. My God, it flies by fast.
Oh, yeah.
Hillbilly Pyro's in the house. How you doing? Ricky Dove is here. Guys, an amazing group of channels.
Valerie Elmo, Love Morick, Canadian Drone Hub, of course. Blazed Radio, hello. Mr. Fulton Raz, hello. How are you doing?
We have Mr. Fulton Mraz in the house. I hope I'm pronouncing it properly. Great to see you. And McDouble or McChickens. Oh my God, we got decision-making channels and everything going on. We got it all.
Nanya, I Crazy, West Haven. Grant McIntosh is here as well. And Wood Pigeon Outdoors is waiting for his loved one coming back through Montreal.
Yes, I'm sure you're counting down the seconds at this point.
Coffee Music here as well. Hello, hello, hello. Dangerous Criminals is here. Andrew's Viking, he's always going and never stops. A Viking never stops, never quits. Power to the Viking. Thank you, Dangerous Criminals, who is certainly having a crush. Thank you so much.
Much loved you.
Her selfies are epic. Thank you. Mysterious Shadows. Hello, April and fam. Wayne Films. Good to see you. Teacup. Sparky is here as well. Ben's is cool. Guys, hello. Say hi if we didn't mention you, or maybe you're just watching us or listening to us. Say hi in the chat, and if you can't, we just hope you have a nice and fun Monday evening or maybe Tuesday morning with us. That's
right, guys. One thing we could ask for you guys, for us and for the guests, to have a nice size turnout, because you're already off to a fantastic start. Can you guys hit the like button, tweet it out, tell some friends? That really does help us out a lot. Helps us with the algorithm so more people can see this amazing guy. And if you've already done that, maybe take a selfie of yourselves. We'd love to see you guys. Remember, a selfie of you watching us, you can't do that? Not a problem. Not a problem. A selfie, you got merch, throw it on. Great place to represent yourself. There's the link right there. Please just make sure you use the hashtag Blue Wrench Group included so us and everybody can find you, and we'll take a look at them in just a few minutes before we bring on our guest.
And we also have Irish Whiskey Paranormal joining us as
nice.
well.
Nice
Good
to see
you. How are you doing? Fox, the smartest dog in the West. Bossy, hello. How are you doing? Bossy, good to see you. Thank you so much, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button, share it out, and if you're new, hit subscribe button down below and ring the bell. If you are on mobile, put it on all notifications so you get notified about every live stream that we have here on, because as you see, we are starting to pop up with our all of a sudden impromptu live streams.
Yes, that's right.
So if you don't ring that bell, you're not going to know when we are having those.
Most definitely. And they're going to start to come up a bit more. So
yes, the weather has been very nice for that.
Little side note, guys, no check marked you, no rubber booted you, no belled you, anything like that will be deleted and then timed out, and most likely will be done by other people in the chat here, not us. You're welcome to meet each other. Just keep it on the down low on interview nights, so there's respect for everybody. But take a sentence or two and just write it properly. Hey, Canadian Drone Hubs, just checked out your channel. What a fantastic live stream. See you soon. I subscribed. That's all it takes. It takes literally an extra 30 seconds versus the check mark. It's good for our channel. Talk to everybody as people. They're bound to come to you more for doing it, so you win more flies with honey. So keep it that way, guys. That's all we ask. So.
Jason Childers is hoping that you're feeling better today, Andrew.
I appreciate that. Getting there, kind of. My daughter put me to sleep a while ago for a little while. She's taking care of me, so.
I heard the gently whispers. Sleep. Sleep.
Okay, Daddy, it's time. You're gonna feel better. Just get some sleep.
Okay, hypnotic.
Yeah,
hypnotic. Go to sleep. Justin, J Plan Vlogs. Hello, how are you doing? Good to see you here as well. Mysterious Shadows.
Oh, no problem.
Terry Cope, how are you doing?
No problem. You're not getting old down the rabbit hole, Marty. All right, I'll say it without echo, guys. Please, this doesn't even apply to Marty because she's already good at this, but funny she should ask. God, the good one. Oh, sorry, but I do have to use it for him. Hang on, this is throwing me in a conundrum. God, the good one is in the house, folks. God, the good one. There we go. Okay, now I can go without echo. Guys, all I'm saying is no, I got yous, no, I rubber booted yous, no, I belled yous, and definitely no, I check marked yous. Just take 30 extra seconds. Write a full sentence. That's all it takes. Just something nice. Down the rabbit hole travel. Just checked out your channel. Man, what fantastic adventures. Can't wait to see more. I subscribe. That's all it takes. It literally takes 30 extra seconds. Nobody's running anywhere. They're not going to forget about you by doing that. And they're going to gravitate to you more because they feel like they were treated like a person. So it's a win-win for everybody. You're going to get more people following you than being annoyed with you. So it's a win for everybody. Yeah, rubber boot. Yeah, I've seen them all. I rubber booted you. I stamped you. I framed your house and put up a deck. I mean, they've come up with everyone I've ever seen.
Oh, my, yes. Yeah, I watered your flower. I hope you come to my garden, too.
I removed your appendix but forgot to sew you up properly.
Oh, yeah. The bus and pizza is the best ones, you know. Like, I drove a bus over your pizza and things like that.
I shot your neighbor and I'm doing 20 to life for you.
Okay, now we got to be careful what we're saying, you know. Hey, Manuela Bripena, hello, good to see you. Good to see you. Like Mr. Fulton Mraz, that's a perfect example of what not to put in our chats. Thank you so much for providing it.
And we always will, if somebody's 20 away from 1,000, 2,000, yes, we'll give them a speed pass, get them up, except when there's an interview. When somebody's on, I love yous, we'll celebrate after it, but we won't do that because it's disrespectful to the person that was nice enough to give their time to be on here. So you guys crack me up.
Yeah, I drank your whiskey. Irish whiskey says you never know, you know what it means, really.
Well, it's been here for a while. Been hearing me on a rant the last 4 days because it was doing good for about 4 weeks, and then people started all that all over again. Hey there, great to be in here. Sorry I can't stay long because I'm going live in 5 minutes. Much love to you all. There's nothing I hate more than that. That's my biggest pet peeve on all of YouTube, hands down. And I always use I mugged your mama. There you go, above and beyond.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Pigeon Outdoors is announcing the Blue Ridge Group member with license plate 3J7M26. Your car is being towed. Oh, my Sky Pilot, hello.
See, above and beyond, you remember that. It drives you crazy. You know, respect for you for giving the person being interviewed the time. Hey, I mean, this is amazing, guys. It's good for all of us. It really is. You know, there's a glimpse that somebody's been working on it since 2008. These are the things that people go to VidCon for, is this kind of information from these kind of channels. This is exactly it. So
yeah, you want to pay $800 some for a ticket to VidCon, or maybe you can get it for free here.
I'm glad you like overlapping teacup.
Good morning, Drone Kings and Darwin. Glad that you've joined us in our laughing fun beginning of our live stream here.
Oh, knock it off, Sky Pilot. I know you're just kidding. Before somebody else says, and they're going to say, oh, well, Sky Pilot said it, so it's okay. That's why
And above and beyond always. Yes, thank you
Oh
so
my
much.
God.
Jenny, thank you so much for putting the link for our merch. As always, hashtag Blue Ranch Group merch available on Teespring. Check it out. Simple Blue, of course, has Blue Ranch Group special pattern for each and every one of you there. And mugs, coffee cups.
God, the good
Everything.
one. I'm hidden in your back garden with a giant T-Rex. However, I've got to go to bed because heaven opens at 8 a.m. Amen.
What time zone? Uh-huh.
Have a good one, my friend. Have
Yes.
an awesome one.
Thank you for popping in.
Always love seeing you.
Dustin Johnson, that is good. Super tired. Well, if it was a good day, then it's good. Thank you. Tired. I know. Yesterday we're tired too. It's been a long weekend. Madame Pongo, hello. Gina Bizarro, Ben's is cool. Drum Kings, you need to do something funny. Okay, you know.
Drone.
Never know. People are
Drone
not
Kings.
gonna know you're joking.
Yeah, you end up getting timed
Yeah.
out by somebody in here. That's what I don't want to happen.
Yeah.
They think you're not joking.
Guys, yes, it's gonna be a fun live stream going ahead as well. A little local celebration of 100K for the Traveling Clat. And I also want to know what the name means as well.
I don't know if he's going to let it fly out because that was part of what he's doing for his 100K. So he might give us a little bit of an insight. He might not. We're going to have to play it by ear. So.
And also, he was about to receive his play button. So I want to know if he already received it or it's coming up this week. It was around this time he was supposed to get it. And I'm so excited to see his unboxing of his first play button.
That is so cool.
So cool.
Because I have a feeling the play button is not going to be around for much longer. I have a feeling because there's somebody getting to 100K.
Yeah.
So I think he's in those last rounds that people are going to get it. So that makes it extra special. So
Yeah,
I might be wrong. That's just my guess. Guys, in the meantime, hit the like button, tweet it out, tell friends, all that kind of good stuff, guys. It's good for us, it's good for the guests, and it's good for you. Want a nice, good group in here tonight for somebody so generous with their time. And in the meantime, if you haven't put up your selfies, please do. There you go. There's the link. Thank you so much, Tara Cope. I appreciate it. That's very kind of you.
Hot Sauce Davis Hill as well.
Welcome.
Jelly Journeys as well. And Elijah already sent up a first question, guys. That's right.
Yep, a good question.
If you have a question for our guest, you can always ask it in the chat. Please put at Pusa Studios at the beginning of it so I can see it, copy it, and we can ask it to our guest during the show.
All right, guys, and let's take a look at selfies because it's just about time to bring our guest up with us, folks. Man, does time fly. There's Wood Pigeon Outdoors, folks. Maple season winding down. Made some maple sugar with true Quebec maple syrup. After Pusa Studios Awesome Live, the Traveling Clat, come check out how I made it. Very cool. That's a great video, actually.
Very nice, yes.
Very nice. What a great idea.
Ralph Morick is offering his services for making YouTube play buttons.
There we go. There we go. I love it. There's going to be a big market into it soon.
Yeah.
Little Llama Laura, hashtag Blue Ranch Group. Here is Sparky. Sorry, I'm not there to watch. Been busy putting a new kitchen in. She's into something all the time. Hope to see you on tomorrow's stream. Have a good stream. Well, thank you so much. That is so awesome.
Nomadic Bike is in the house. Thank you so much for the raid once again. That was amazing. You are amazing. Thank you.
You really are.
And Sunshine Cooper is here as well. Hello.
Vexy, for your guest tonight, I was once reacting to videos. I really love his channel, and I'm happy that you both are going to talk to him. Oh, that is so awesome.
That is awesome.
Like I say, guys, this was a new one for us to be able to watch somebody so long and finally be able to actually talk to them. It's kind of cool. So, Jenny, look at that. Look at that beautiful weather out there, and definitely your fur baby is very content with it too. So just looking out, just wishing to get out there.
Furby or fur baby?
Fur baby is not just. Alrighty, guys, on to Jackie Haru food reviews. Now that we've had the Latvian translation into Jackie Haru, there she is, our sweetie. Her little, oh wow, look at that heat sensing picture. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Thank you so very much, Jackie, for all you do for us, all the support. Okay, back to some editing for me. Great to see everyone, and thanks for being here, Andrew and Xenia. In the Woods of Wolfie, you're always welcome here. Anytime you feel like dropping by, it's always great to have you in, my friend.
The Jedi Balloon Master, hello.
And there she is, Marty, guys, down the rabbit hole. Travel. Been ages since I took a Blue Wrench Group selfie for my pals at Pusa Studios. Love you guys. We'll have to do our candlelight dinner if I ever come to visit Montreal.
Oh, definitely. The most epic, I think, selfie that Marty has done for Blue Wrench Group is when she was taking a bath.
Yes. Yes. That's right.
And if you want to look for that, just look for hashtag Blue Ridge Group on Twitter and scroll down through the archives of that hashtag. You're going to find a very funny and amazing picture.
She's so awesome.
Yes, she is.
Love Marty's spirit. Blasters Radio hit 1K today. Oh, that is awesome. Congratulations, Blaster Radio. Congratulations to you. Very well done. You make it sound so much better than it really was, Xenia, she's saying.
Hope respect. Yes, he's having a meetup at the end of the week, as you mentioned, and we're definitely going to ask if there's another one coming up.
And there you go, guys. We got Stingray Steve. Look at that. Look at that. Wow.
Nice.
Definitely not in the same climate whatsoever, that's for sure. Oh, my God. Now, this is how you enjoy the Blue Wrench Group live stream. Wow. That is quite the mug.
I know. Oh, I like that.
That is so cool.
What is in there?
She has eyes like a Disney character. The brightest eyes, the biggest eyes. She's all eyes. Yes. Yeah, she's
beautiful.
That's one thing. Marty is all eyes.
She looked stunning yesterday in the live stream. Beautiful.
Hey. It's so great to have all you guys in here. Oh, drinking juice.
Grape juice? I know. I'll stop.
Yeah, it's that time, folks. Alrighty, I think it is about time, though, seriously, to bring out our guest. Guys, you've been so patient, and I hope you're ready. In the meantime, guys, tweet it out, hit the like button, tell everybody that it's going on. It really, really does help us out a lot, and it's great for our guests as well. And it's not too late to put up your selfies. Definitely would like to see them a little later on down into the show. So I'm trying to bring back adult swim. I know you are. And, you are inspiring. And let's just say that.
We were talking about that yesterday, that we should do that one of these Friday nights maybe. Who knows?
There, we put them literally back to back. We don't look like the worst plaguing.
Well, it's our stream. Do what we want to. Promote ourselves, shamelessly plug in everything that we have here.
Well, that's shameless to a whole new level. Holy God. Alrighty, I'm going to bring the link. I'll pass over to you, Xenia, and I'm going to get us set up here with our wonderful guest.
So for those of you that are just joining in now today on Live with Pusa, we are going to have a travel addict and a foodie. I recently reached 100,000 subscribers, and partially thanks to you guys in the pop-up live stream that we had just 2 weeks ago. You guys stepped forward and helped him reach that milestone even faster. And we were so excited, and he agreed to come on our show to have an interview with him, which is so amazing because we have been fans for years. Yes. We have been watching his videos beforehand, even before we had a YouTube channel. We are huge travel addicts and passionate about traveling around the world as well. So we're so excited to talk with him. Currently, he is in New York and getting ready for the meetup that they're organizing at the end of the week as well. So if that's something you're looking for and you're living somewhere near New York, you definitely can go and meet him and other amazing creators at the end of the week on the 28th of April. And let's talk with him. Let's chat about traveling, about food around the world, and of course about YouTube. How do you get to 100K? What do you do? What is the secret? We all here want to know. So welcome here, the Traveling Clat.
All right, welcome. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
Welcome here, the Traveling Clat.
And are we
all
in?
Right, welcome. Yeah, I just need you to pause your the live stream. There we go.
Are we starting? Sorry, I'm gonna have your stream open up on another tab. My bad.
No problem. How are you doing?
I am doing fantabulous. How are you guys doing?
Well, I'm on cloud 9 right now. I cannot believe that we're talking to the Traveling Clat, to be honest. We have followed you for so long.
Oh, don't say that. It's an honor. It's
Oh, we're losing you.
after the it's so crazy.
We lost you for a second. I think you froze up a little bit. Oh, we'll get him back in a second.
Yeah, don't go anywhere and don't move a muscle.
Yeah.
As always, it's live stream, guys.
Can you hear us now?
Are we here?
Yeah, I hear you. You were cutting out. You were losing your internet connection a bit. So.
Oh, my bad. Sorry
Nope.
about that. Okay, I think it should be okay right now. Okay?
It's probably better to close the YouTube live stream instead of just pausing for him.
Yeah, you probably close the live stream will help you because I think that's what's
Not.
taking most of your juice.
And don't worry about the chat. I'm going to keep an eye on it and we can just talk through the camera.
You might be also too a bit away from the router. That might be causing it as
Yeah.
well. We'll just give him a second to get settled, guys, and we'll have him on in just a second. In the meantime, once again, tweet it out, guys. Hit the like button, all that good stuff. We'll have him set up in just a second here. Oh, there. I think he's changed spots. How are you again?
I think we're okay now.
Yes,
Sorry.
everything looks...
Awesome.
How are you doing?
I am doing great. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great. And how does it feel to be a 100K plus channel? I got to ask you right off the bat.
Oh, man. I feel like a celebrity. People are stopping me in the streets for pictures. I'm getting brandy. Nah, nothing has really changed. It's just more of like it's a feeling like all the work that I've put in is kind of validated now by that stupid little check mark. It makes me feel like I'm, a part of the bigger community now, which is nice.
Well, you've earned it. I mean, you've been in it for a while. It's not just come overnight success to you. This is a lot of work.
Yeah, it's been years. It's been a real grind.
And has it changed your outlook on YouTube as you've been going? Do you still look at it the same way as when you first started? Does it feel more business to you than it did in the beginning? Or does it feel more jaded from it or enjoy it more since you started?
It's a real mix, to be honest. It's like, I don't know. I've had times where I've had a very pessimistic look at it, and then times where it's very like euphoric and everything's really great when things are good. Right now, it's more. I'm just in this sort of state of like trying to build community, build something that a lot of people are happy with,
right?
And where I can kind of really bring people, sort of like what I see on your channel, how people are so engaged and really like, interacting with each other and speaking to each other in a very respectful way, and how you guys kind of say you guys are almost prepared for this giant group of people that are like that might need a little bit of direction here and there. And so that's sort of kind of what I'm looking to try to do, is more of like the travel genre, travel sphere.
I like that, and from the outside looking in, I don't find your perspective has changed one iota since you look back at your older videos to now. I find you always had that kind of yourself and your rawest form when you do anything on here. And that want to make something that's long lasting, a group. You're never the individual. You're always about the group, it seems like, your followers and yourself. And I find that a very nice philosophy. I find it's worked well for you.
Yeah, I've been trying to, like I said, build a family, like a real group of people that are very welcoming. And I remember there was one video that I put out like 2 years ago where I put out a video on how to get cheap flights or how to find cheap flights, how I do it. And in the comment section, I had like two people who were interacting with each other. And like one person was like, hey, anybody in the comment section, I've been watching this guy for a while and I'm thinking about like backpacking Europe for a little bit, if anybody wants to join me. And then some other guy commented below and he's like, hey, I'm interested in doing that. Let me hit you up on Instagram. And then like 3 months later, I got pictures of them backpacking Europe together. And I was like, this is why I do what I do. Like, this is the sole reason. It's for a moment like that, So that's kind of like what I'm trying to build, something the sorts of that.
It's such a rewarding feeling.
Yeah. It feels really good when people connect like that.
I love that.
Yes, definitely. And I mean, traveling is such a huge, passion for so many people, and finding a place where you can talk about with like-minded people and watch your videos. I think it's a great way of building that community. It's interactive and visual, and all at the same time. You get to go into the advices from each other and watch your videos at the same time, almost like a watch party.
yes, that's true. Yeah.
It's cool for a lot of people. I noticed that they're not exposed to especially in the U.S., a lot of people are not exposed to traveling very early on.
Right.
For Europeans and Australians and Canadians, and backpacking and traveling around the world is a very common thing.
Mm-hmm.
But for a lot of people where I'm from, it's just not a thing that you do. And so when they can kind of live vicariously through me or see that stuff, their brain kind of opens up to, hey, maybe the world is not so dangerous. Maybe people aren't all bad across the planet. Maybe we can actually just grab a backpack and fly somewhere and have a good time. So that's kind of the mission, is to just open people's eyes a little bit about the world around them.
I love that. And something that's half the problem today is there's not enough interaction. It's only online where it's kind of the rawest. I've had a bad day, so let's be hateful. Versus when you actually travel and get to meet the people and really realize it's not such a bad world, and this group is not such as bad as what you've seen here and there, and everything starts getting closer. I don't want to sound like everything's perfect, but there is a lot more opportunities to make it better this way. I love what you just said. And your channel's really about that as well.
Definitely not everything is perfect. But I always stand by this. My mother is she's terrified of like everything that I do. And she's the single person who has told me, she's always found a reason for every single place, no matter where I've gone in the world. Literally, I've been to 40 countries. Anytime before I go somewhere, she's always had a reason for me not to go there. She's always like, don't go here because it's dangerous. Don't go here because the people will kill you. Don't go here because there's diseases. There's dangerous.
Oh, did we lose them?
I'm going to change my mind. So I pride myself a lot on breaking that barrier, especially when, like, if people tell you about a place, go see it for yourself before you make some sort of judgment.
Yes.
Before you go.
What has been the country that she was the most terrified about?
Oh boy. Oh man, there's so many. It's impossible. I mean, like, just telling her that I was sailing across the ocean on the cargo ship, that was alone for her. That was like a heart attack. Trying to think which one has single-handedly scared her the most. I think she was very scared when I went to Russia, because she has a lot of Russian friends, and in the U.S., Russia is seen as like this crazy. I had so many people to tell me that Russia, I was going to die, and people were going to be so hateful towards me. And when I got there, it was nothing but the complete opposite, like the complete polar opposite of what everybody said. It was incredible, and I made like tons of friends all across the country. So yeah, I think Russia for her was like number one. She was so scared of me going there.
Yeah, I asked that with purpose because when you were saying about that your mom was scared about you going to different countries, I kind of figured that probably was the one that she could most likely be. And why? Because Andrew actually came to pick me out of Latvia, which is an ex-Soviet country. That's like we met online, and he came over to me, and his mom was terrified.
Oh, you're going to Russia. They're going to kidnap you for ransom. They're going to be this. And I'm like, well, if they know what you guys got for money, they're not getting for. I mean, I love my parents, but it's not going to be a $10 million haul.
They were scared. They thought that he's never going to come back. Oh my God. And it was like, it's not even part of Russia anymore officially, but as you said, in North America, there's still that perception of the countries over there that they are under Russia regime and everything that is crazy stuff that's going on there. Which
I got to visit I got to visit Riga for a few hours on the way to Moscow. And I was traveling overland I basically went from London to South Korea without flying. And so I traveled through Latvia for a few hours. And we had a little layover there. I had some food, and the people were so friendly. They were like extremely friendly. It was just like overly friendly. And I came in with this perception of everybody was telling me like, this is dangerous. It's former USSR countries. Everybody's going to be so mean and cold. And I was like, everybody's cool here. Like, everyone's just chilling. Everybody wants to be friends.
What year was it in that you were there?
This was September of 2017. No, 2017. Yeah, September, October, that time.
See, after the economic crash, it went through a big overhaul. It kind of went like Vegas did, because before that, it was kind of rough. And when I first went over there were stores I went into that people wouldn't even serve me because I was English. They would turn around and cross their arms till I left outside of the main part. But we went back after a couple of years, like in 2013. It was like a new country. It was completely. I don't know how they pulled it off. All the corruption was gone. Like for police with speeding tickets, everybody was so friendly. They had bright swords and were like.
Yeah, it was a huge difference, and it is right now as well. But I mean, people have been always friendly in general. It's just more reserved because we didn't know what the foreigners really are like.
That's right. And when you first open up a Soviet country,
I think it really comes down. It comes down to two things, and I'll tell you, like it wasn't all like dandelions when I went to Russia as well. There were a few people, there were a few bad apples, like a few people who like. Were a little snooty to me or whatever, but it's not. It's like the vast minority of people that behave like that, and I think what comes down to is people realize, especially as all these new countries or not new countries, but all these countries are kind of coming out of infancy and kind of becoming more globalized, and tourists are traveling to them, and the world's becoming more connected. They're realizing, why would I be mean to somebody who could potentially be funding my country?
Yes.
Like tourism is making up so much money for a country.
Yes.
Why would you be mean to somebody who's coming and bringing stuff to your economy?
Yep.
So a lot of people realize it's just not worth it, and it's better to just be friendly and happy with people.
That is a very good point, by the way, on that one. I agree with you on that too. There's way more money into
talks.
Yeah, it does. It does, and it makes a big difference.
It does, but I think it also depends on who comes in as a first impression. Like for us, why it was so spoiled, because the first foreigners that were coming in were British, coming in for their stag parties and very disrespectful to the people that were local, and therefore that's why that kind of made the impression of foreigners.
And it's not all British people, by the way. It was just the tourists that coming in, and it was mostly like the wild guy 10-person hangouts. And stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, but definitely now I think it has been turned over for completely.
But like Vegas, you have to stop that kind of stuff before you can bring in the good tourists. That's what they did. They had to do that overhaul, put an end to all these tours, and discourage them, and come up with new ones more family friendly. That's the beginning of turning things around.
Yeah.
So you got
the same situation when I went to Cuba. It's like a lot of people go out there and they go out just to smoke their Cuban cigar, drink some whiskey, ride around in an old car, and then leave.
Right.
And they only stay in Havana. They never go out and explore. And it's like the Cuban people, what image are they going to have of people that are coming to this country? Like all these rich Americans are coming over. They're not spending anything in the economy. They're staying in one city.
Yeah.
They're doing their little touristy thing, and then they get out.
Yep.
So yeah, it really does come down to like the image of a lot of people. But I think as the world's getting more connected, these barriers are breaking down so fast. People are becoming so well connected.
I gotta say what I love about your channel. I love your sense of exploring, and I love that you like going off the beaten path. I like that you don't do what everybody else does. I think that's why your channel is where it is. A big part of it is you've done nothing but bring yourself to it, which is truly original, and your perspective on traveling and how to travel is very different from a lot of other ones.
Yeah, I try. I mean, the matter of the fact is, I am not the epitome of what the image of what a world traveler looks like. There's a very standard image on YouTube of like this sort, and this is not in any way to be like derogatory to any of these people, but there's an image of like the beautiful white buff guy, blonde hair, slick black blue eyes, 6-pack abs, sitting on a canoe in some tropical island or something. It's like there's an image of this is what brands are looking for, this is what people are looking for, and then you have me, this like chubby Indian looking guy who's like goofing around with his camera around the world. Like people have no idea what to make of it. It's breaking down barriers of what people thought was travel. And I think it's making it more relatable for the average person who never thought,
exactly,
oh, this guy can travel too. It doesn't only have to be like Instagram models and bikinis. Like this guy can do it as well.
That's right.
And so I think that's a big part of it is I try my best. I haven't 100% steered away from the crowd. I have done a lot of things that that a lot of other people have done as well, because I try to follow trends and there's money that plays into it. But I do try at the core to innovate a little bit in the travel genre and make it more accessible to people who otherwise can't relate with the person who looks perfect and has the perfect life and is able to travel in a villa or a 5-star hotel. Like I want to show them the raunchy, disgusting side of what it really like is to travel with no money.
But that's what draws people in. I truly believe that. You have such a great character of an honesty to it. And that's what I have always said. We had a taste of reality TV starting in the 2000s. We quickly realized it was nothing but we got that want for it. And a channel like yours is the epitome of what YouTube should be pushing, because it's so honest and so frank and it's so you. That's what's so great about it. it's what those characters that you just mentioned, characteristics you just mentioned a moment ago, is why I like your channel so much. It's
thank you very much. It means a lot, because if somebody like you is noticing that, then I think I'm doing my job right. Like if I'm getting that message through to you, then I know that I'm doing something right, because it's not always easy. Sometimes you struggle a lot with like well, I could just fly to this island. It's super cheap to live there, and I could just do the same content and recycle the same thing that a billion other people are doing.
Right.
But when somebody like you is able to tell me, that I am normalizing that in your brain and making it more accessible to you as well, it means the world to me. I mean, it means I'm accomplishing the goal, and it makes me very happy on the inside to hear that.
Well, we found your channel was like a godsend, and of course, I think I've told you already, it was because of the freighter ship travel, the cargo ship. It was something that we were looking at, and you were the first channel that come up that had some decent content onto it, and we were just watching. I think that's when we got hooked right away. It was fair
because we were actually thinking of doing it, so we were researching, with like, how is it, what is it, and your channel came up, and we have been following ever since. Yeah, I'm sure when the first time you heard our name, you were like, who are these people?
What's a Pusa? What's a Pusa?
I'll be honest with you guys. When me and Jacob were on the stream and we saw like you guys wrote a message and you were like, well, so obviously I didn't read it with the accent with Pusa. I read Pusa, so I was like, Pusa Studios, and they're like, hey, you guys wrote, we're gonna make a live stream just for you, and we're gonna try to rally up our audience. There's no verified check. All it is just a name with a bunch of other names flooding through. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I didn't think of it.
Right.
Like I didn't think anything was gonna happen. And then all of a sudden, like the last 30 minutes, we've lost all hope. We're like, it's not happening. It's definitely not happening. And boom, it's just like fire away. The subscribers flying in. It was one of the top 10 moments of this year. It was just like, it just felt so euphoric. It was just like, you guys helped us accomplish a goal that, we would have hit that 100,000
of course
subscriber mark, but we wouldn't have been able to hit it on camera, which made it so special. I really feel like the people who were there, it really got the feeling of like how many YouTubers can say they celebrate 100K with their audience live.
Yes.
Because it's so hard to time something like that. And you guys really helped us make that possible. So,
that was amazing.
Do you realize how much you inspired people here that night? I mean, people came together, and I think maybe you might have heard me since the beginning before you come on. What I loved about it is this is the true spirit of YouTubers. There are going to always be some, oh, God, help him to 100K. I'm trying to get to 1. There's always going to be 1 or 2. But everybody jumped into it as if you were trying to get 500 or 1,000 or 1,000,000 or 100,000. We're equally excited. I've seen them do tons of times. You were just another YouTuber, and we were all in together. And that restored my faith in YouTube. It really did at that moment.
I'm very grateful of that. I mean, to anybody who's watching right now who was in there during the live stream, like, thank you so much. For me, it was a little overwhelming because I obviously couldn't keep up with all the names and everybody. I tried to give everybody that TLC, but it's a little bit hard when there's like a billion people flying through. But it was really, and here I'm seeing some comments of people saying it was tremendous. It was amazing. It was so cool. Like, it's really a special moment that not a lot of people get to experience on YouTube. To be able to see that channel hit that 100K mark, that's like a moment in history for that channel.
Of course.
And it's just so cool.
We were honored to be able to share it with you, to be honest. That was what was so cool about it. It was nice to be part of it. So
me as well. Absolutely honored.
Thank you for letting us be a part of it.
Chills TV was asking, did you get your play button yet? And did you get your play button yet?
I haven't gotten it yet. I just got today in the morning the shipping confirmation. So it's shipping to my house in Miami, nice. And I'm going to be leaving New York in the next 2 weeks. So I should be able to make a video on it in like a month. I should have an unboxing in a month.
So looking
awesome.
forward. So looking
forward. We're going to push the hell of it. Everybody here is going to know if they missed the notification, they're going to find out some way that they're going to be there to see it. So, are you going to do that as live, the unboxing? Exciting. It is, for sure. I mean, that's a big accomplishment.
Yeah. I'm very excited for it. It's like, I don't know, when I started like 5 years ago, it was always kind of a joke. Like, me and my friends always joked around. We were like, yeah, one day, maybe.
Oh. We'll see. He should be back in a second. I think he's just getting some interference. Oh, we lost you for a second.
Oh, shoot. Have I lost?
Oh, you're back.
Am I back?
Yep. Welcome back.
Yeah, you're back. You're
I'm
here.
sorry that
I love
you
his
did the
style.
dog.
I love his style.
No problem. No worries. That's the live stream. That's what we always say here. It's
Yep.
alive.
That's how lives go, my friend. We're used to it. This is not. This is.
no.
So you were talking about 5 years ago when you just started it. That was more like a joke. Maybe we can go back to how it all started. And guys, while we're waiting for our guest to connect back, if you can like and share this live stream, we would really appreciate that. And let everybody know that you are here, and check this out, the Traveling Clat, especially for those of you guys that have been here on that epic live stream that we had just 2 weeks ago. Really appreciate if you can do that. And if you're new, please hit subscribe. If you're not new, make sure that you're still subscribed to us.
That's right, guys.
Because you never know, YouTube might unsubscribe you or unbell you. And if you are on your mobile phone, make sure that notifications are clicked for all, so you know the next time when we are on here.
I hear you, Nomadic Bite. That's the problem. Somebody, and he's staying with somebody right now, and you don't have total control over it. Maybe somebody's using his signal. There's a million reasons why. So I'm sure. Yeah, it's showing that. There he goes. He must be on your side. There we go. We have him back. How are you?
I'm so sorry.
No problem. No problem. We were just pushing your channel. We're keeping busy.
Am I here?
You are here in the live, my friend.
You working?
Oh, it's cutting back out on you again.
No, I think Laj was asking about how does he find internet in places and maintain the upload schedule. I think that's oftentimes that's my question too sometimes, except for McDonald's.
There you go, guys. I'm just showing a small clip of the video. I think this is one of the first ones we've seen of his. This is during his container ship travel. And what that is in a nutshell is instead of taking a cruise ship or a plane to Europe, you jump on a cruise ship. A container ship would actually travel that way. Hey there, how are you?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry this keeps happening. I don't know what's going on.
No, hey, that's what happens. It's we're making it work. We're making it work. We were just showing some clips of your videos and stuff. So I was actually just showing the one
cool.
from the
okay, I can hear you guys perfect now.
Perfect. I was just showing some clips of your cargo container ship travel and that to everybody. So that's the first run of videos I've ever seen of yours. What possessed you to do it, the cargo container ship?
Okay, so actually, my first year of backpacking, I was in Toronto in a hostel. Thank you, Jacob. I was talking to this guy. It was like my first kind of experience traveling in a hostel. One of the first hostels I stayed in, and there was this guy who walked in. He looked like a total hippie. He was wearing like a bandana, long hair, beard. I was like, he looked like a cool guy. I started a conversation with him, and he was telling me how he just sailed on a cargo ship from, I think it was Hong Kong or Japan, across to Vancouver, and then he went overland to Toronto. And I kind of grilled him a little bit on it. I was like, I can't believe you can travel on a cargo ship. That's just something you can do. And he gave me a little bit of the details, and it kind of stuck in my head a little bit as something that potentially I could do in the future. And like two and a half years went by, and I was in Israel. And I was thinking, I had flown back and forth from Israel and the United States so much as a kid. I was thinking, like, what's a more lucrative way that I could get back home from here? I was like, I don't want to just fly back. It's just this. It's like so boring. It's so easy to just hop on a plane.
Right.
And I was like, oh shoot, you can actually travel on a cargo ship. I forgot this crazy guy told me about this. And I researched it. I was able to get myself on one for like 18 days. And it was just a wild adventure. And I didn't know much going in because there's not much. I mean, before I started kind of bringing information on the internet about it, there was not much information about it. Like the guides were all outdated. All the tourist agencies either spawned or are outdated as well. And so the information, there was like maybe 10 or 15 videos on traveling on a cargo ship, and they were all shot on like potato quality like footage. It was really hard to tell what was going on. So like let's try this out. Let's see what happens. And it was a crazy experience. It was just bananas.
That was so awesome, and you're right, because there was such horrible information. Like we dug for a while before we found you, and then when you came along, it was like a godsend. Like this guy actually did a series on it.
The only normal content about it, really, at the time. That's so hard to find. Yeah.
And you think it would be so
the
cool?
king of the cargo ships.
Yeah.
King of the cargo.
I love it. But what a great one. That's that thing about like standing your own on YouTube. And that's a prime example of it. It's something that nobody else was doing. And you didn't just do it once, but you covered it in depth. I mean, that's a wealth of knowledge that not everybody else is doing, makes you stand out from the crowd.
Yeah, definitely. It won't be my last act. The last one kind of scarred me a little bit, to be honest. It was very scary. The last day there, we hit a really bad storm.
Yeah,
and it was one of those like moments where I really thought I might die. Like it was really, really, really scary. But it's kind of put me off of going on one for a little while. But now I'm kind of feeling more up to it. So I think there's one coming soon. I'm planning it right now. Yeah.
Oh man, I was wondering because that was something I wanted to ask you about. I wasn't sure if you were going to do it because I watched that video and man, it looked pretty rough.
And that was literally nothing. I filmed. It was actual fear. You know, I was still getting into the YouTube stuff at that point in time. Right. I wasn't like used to like vlogging every moment of my life when I was on that cargo ship because now I really film everything and I'm very comfortable with the camera in my hand. But when that storm started, I put down the camera and was just circling the ship in like anxiety and panic mode, really thinking that we were going to die. Like it was moments that I didn't catch on camera. My friend was like puking in the bathroom by me. And I was just listening to a podcast like on repeat, trying to relax. It was just 8 hours of the boat. Captain's nowhere to be found. First mate's nowhere to be found. Second mate's nowhere to be found. We can't access the bridge because we can't climb because everything's just flying all over the place. So I was like, I thought we were going down. It was terrifying.
Wow. But in a way, is the cargo ship safer than the cruise ships? I mean, the sea is the same weather conditions. It's just different vehicle to travel on. So wouldn't it, like, logically thinking, I'm just thinking now. No, I know in the moment, but is it really maybe safer way of traveling than the cruise ship?
If you want to break it down into like technicalities, I would say no. The cruise ship would probably be even safer. Okay. Just because the cargo ship it's like an office building on the water. You know, the people are there to work. Yeah. There's only 20 people on the ship, so if you let's say fall overboard or something, there's only 20 people that are able to see you, and it's the same size as a cruise ship. Right. And so like you already lost your chances there, and there's no usually there's no like medical doctor on board like there is on a cruise ship. Like there's never like a nurse or something. There's somebody who has some sort of training on how to deal with certain situations, but they don't provide that as like a service because once again it's like an office for people who are working. I usually don't recommend it to a lot of people. It's a very unconventional, very inefficient, very expensive way to travel. Yes. That being said, it's cool. It's like a once in a lifetime experience, so you really have to want to kind of go on that unbeaten path, but I don't recommend it to a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people would enjoy it.
Yeah, that's true. It's one of those ones that like going off the beaten path and want to do something, like you say, non-traditional, kind of a notch in the belt type of thing.
100%, yeah.
We've kind of traveled like that. We've been, we had a business, we got married in Iceland. I think I sent you the video. We had a Viking wedding and then we opened a business there. And we've always kind of gone to these odd places, like our 4 and 8-year-olds. We've had them stay for 6 days in a Honda Civic in Iceland. We've driven halfway across Europe. No hotels, no nothing, like sitting in the hot springs in the sun. We always kind of like going off the beat. And I love that Xenia was from Latvia. Yeah. Well, that freaks some people out. Oh, France, and they're great countries, but that's not like what I like to do. I like waking up in the middle of the morning in Slovakia and kind of winging it through. I've always enjoyed that part. To me, that's traveling. I don't want the security blanket all the time. I don't want to put myself in mortal danger, don't get me wrong. That's why I feel kind of connected to your channel a bit.
I think there's a difference.
Yeah.
There definitely is a difference. But yeah, where's the fun where everything's already been, when that path's already been like carved out so many times? How many people can go to the Eiffel Tower and have the same experience over and over again and still have to be fresh?
That's right.
But when you're in Latvia, when you're in Riga, or when you're traveling through the border of Lithuania and Latvia or Estonia, and it's very few people from the West have like seen this with their own eyes or have traveled there or have interacted with these people, and you're really getting to engage and connect with people and environments that haven't really been exposed to a lot of people. That's where the true adventure kind of begins. That's where you get to kind of like get your creativity to adventure.
Pusa, the name is an actual town in Latvia, about 40 kilometers from the Russian border. We picked it because her mom passed away of cancer, so it was kind of a tribute to her where she grew up, but also because the French laws are very strict here. and that hat over the roof is upside down and on an S. So I thought a lot of French people would think it was a spelling mistake, and I catch their eye. So that's kind of why we went with it. But Pusa, I mean, when I go there, I'm like an anomaly. I go to there's only one little store. It's a rural area, and it's always it looks like an old scene from a World War II movie. The guys still wear those tweed, gentleman farmers, Sunday suits with the flat hats and everything.
Wow.
And they're like I'm like a phenomena there. They just want to see me. How can he order something? How's he going to do this? And they're not mean about it. They're just inquisitive. And it's
Right.
fun. I love that feeling.
Yeah, no, it's
Loved
awesome.
it so much he decided to take one home with him.
Yeah. She's my greatest tourist souvenir I ever had. I always say. I've been showing clips of that day on the ship with the winds and everything, and you're showing like the ball rolling around and that was look at that ball going around. I still remember this video. That was such a good example of what it was like that day.
I think I still want to try it. I don't know.
No, I think you should. I think I was unlucky because I hit a hurricane on the first one that I did, and then we hit a bad storm on the second one that I did. So like I've just been hit with bad weather on both trips for some reason. But I think most people that have done it, like I've met a couple who had literally traveled around the world. They did a full circle for like 170 days on cargo ships. And they didn't hit a single storm the whole time. Maybe they had a little bit of rain, but they never got caught in an actual storm.
Nice.
The storms are pretty rare, I think. A lot of the ships have GPS navigation that's really well fitted to go around these storms. They're able to pass it.
Right.
So I think I was just unlucky.
Has your mother ever seen this video?
She has seen that video. She has seen, and the thing is, it was nice at the time. I was putting them out at a very big delay,
right?
So I was already safe and sound, and she saw it like a few months after I had done it. So she was already worried about the thing that I'm currently doing. She didn't have time to worry about what I had.
That's a good way to do it, actually. That's a very
keep her worrying in a delay.
They know by then you're safe, so it takes some of the shock away.
Exactly.
But then again, mothers, what they're like. Sometimes they can even watch it knowing you're okay and still have the big freak out, or we call it with my mother the big one.
Yeah. Coffee Music here was saying that it would be awesome to hear all the stories from people around the world where you travel. What you're doing is awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool, especially when you get to interact with with people who have some sort of gauge on what's going on the internet, like people who are aware to this YouTube world and social media stuff. Because a lot of times I'll have viewers or people connect me with interesting figures like around the world. Like in the Philippines, for example, I got to sit down and meet the oldest tattoo artist in the world. We did like a whole hike up to her village, and we got to go into her house and sit down and interview her, which is rare. Not a lot of people get to have that like one-on-one with her. And, she was aware already of what was going on. And so they put on a little bit of extra. They give you a little bit more extra so the people that are abroad can kind of hear it more so than if you were just one-on-one, which is really, really cool.
What an experience.
Yeah, and that's the part that is unique. That is not like you said, everybody have been on an Eiffel Tower, like it's something very different. Very few people actually get to experience that, and you can share it with everybody here watching you.
Yeah. It's very cool. It's a very interesting thing to just be like able to have those connections with people around the world who otherwise wouldn't probably do these things. Like I know I have a lot of people who are watching my videos who are either disabled or they don't have money, or they would never travel because they suffer from bad anxiety or something that really inhibits them from going out and doing it themselves. But through me, they can see parts of the world otherwise they would never really find. And it's not something that National Geographic is going to cover.
No.
It's not something that Planet Earth is going to cover. It's really random stuff that it's just like this pocket. It's like some guy decided to go to.
I love it though. Because it's you. That's what I was saying from the beginning. You really bring you into the picture, and what you like and what you're happy about and what you're nervous about and all these things is what makes people connect with you when they travel. You really give them a sense that they are there with you, I feel. They really do. Like you give them a glimpse. Very cool. That's quite an accomplishment.
It is a very unique experience.
I love it. I was just showing some clips of that. How old was she? Do you remember?
Appa Wangog, the tattoo artist?
Yeah.
She turned 101, I think, the month after we left. And she's still going. She's still going strong.
That is so amazing.
Wow. That
she's
is
incredible.
crazy.
She was absolutely incredible. She, when I sat down and interviewed her, I thought she was going to give me some sort of inspiring message. And when she talked to me in the beginning, she kept it very brief. She kept it very short. And the thing is that she speaks a very specific native tongue to this one village that you have to get translated to another native tongue from the village around it, that then gets translated into Filipino, that then gets translated into English. So in the room, we're having 4 people translating for us.
Wow.
And she literally, the words that she said to me when I asked her was like, "What's your message to the world?" She was like, "Come to the village and get tattoos and spend your money here." That was like her message. And I took that as like, wow, like that's all she had to say. Like you think it would be something with more value and stuff. But it's one of those things that 4 translations down, I don't know the connotation that she's saying it. I don't know how she's, and then when I ask for the second translation and I communicate with the next person, the next translator, they kind of explained to me that yes, in essence, that's how it came out in English. But what she was really saying is that she cares so much about her village and she wants that this village to prosper. And she knows that I have an audience to bring people over to. So she's like, she wants to say it brief and she wants to get it out there because she doesn't have much time, she thinks, left in the world. Right. So she's saying, come to the village, spend money here, support my family, support my people. But instead it comes off as like very blunt, like, hey, come get a tattoo.
It's like a carpet salesman for a second, but when you read deeper into it.
Yeah, you always have to read deeper, but that's the beautiful thing about like the different languages and berries and stuff. And it sort of got lost in translation. Yeah, there she is. I'm seeing her on screen right now.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
Awesome. She was great. She's so cool.
I think so cool. That is a very spiritual I don't want to oversell it, but it must have been like the trek and everything, you know, and this lady at this age doing all this, it must have like touched you.
Yeah, for the girl that's getting tattooed there, she was one of my viewers from the group, and for her it was a big trek to go up there and get her tattoo done, because for a lot of people, she's 101, right? So she doesn't always do the tattoos, and it's a very long process. She basically takes a bamboo spike and she hits this thing into your skin to get the ink inside. Wow. And she doesn't always do it anymore. She's like training her granddaughters or her nieces, I don't remember exactly. She's training them to kind of take over her page. And so my viewer that was there, she actually was able to sit down and have it get done by her. And for her, that was a huge moment. For me personally, I didn't want to get a tattoo. I don't feel the connection to it, but I can appreciate what's happening there. And I could see the joy in my viewer's eyes when she got that tattoo. And she has this little signature, which is literally just 1, 2, 3 dots right next to each other. That's her whole signature. Oh, you see those 3 dots on, actually, I think it's delayed, but yeah. There's like 3 dots on screen, and then she draws a design around it. Those 3 dots, to get that done by her, is like a huge honor in the Philippines now. It's like a very, very big thing because she's a national treasure. So it was just so cool to see somebody that like watches my stuff, like getting to have her moment on camera, something that she's going to be able to remember forever, and really being able to share that moment with everybody around.
I think that is so cool. And I love what you said about, like, for you, tattoo wasn't, you didn't understand the connection for you, but you enjoyed it through your viewer's eyes. That's a lot about traveling too. It doesn't always have to connect with us. It's what it means to the people that are there, and embracing it, and that was a very well said part, right? Like, because some people do that on travel once. That's the tacky part that goes back to almost like the 80s, like, oh, dude, today we're going to get a tattoo and it's going to be crazy. and they just ruined the whole event, They just sucked the life right out of it,
It's what I try my best, like, when I'm traveling, when I was in Japan, for example, like, the Buddhist temples are a big thing. Like, Buddhist temples and Shinto shrines, people go up and pray. But, like, I'm Jewish. I don't practice any other religion other than Judaism.
Right.
And so for me, if I go to a mosque, if I go to a church, if I go to a Buddhist temple, if I go to a Shinto shrine, I'm not going there to pray. I'm going there to look and to appreciate it. And so I try my best not to engage or to do any of the customs that are happening there. I just observe it from the outside, because I don't want to, if I don't believe it, I don't want to taint it. Like, I have so much respect for what's going on there. Yeah. So if I'm in a mosque, I'm not praying. I'm not doing the customs. If I'm in a church, I'm not doing the customs or the things there. If I'm in a Buddhist temple, I try to just respect and appreciate from far away. Like, just look at it, observe the people doing it, and I don't have to always engage, in that stuff. And I see a lot of people who go in there and they'll mess around, and their heart's not 100% in it.
Yeah.
And I see that as like a little bit like, I don't see it as disrespectful, because obviously you want to experience the culture, but I see it from a perspective of like, you don't know what the Buddhist in that temple or the Shinto in that temple is thinking about you. Yes. And if you go in and you're just messing with all the bells and whistles and you're not 100% into it, maybe somebody will get offended by it. So I try my best to be respectful and take a seat back with a lot of those things.
I really love what you say there. I do, and because I find it does get, and I'm sorry to use the term, but I find some travel channels bastardize a place when they go to it. And it's such a farce, like they throw on, like you say, the kimono or whatever, and it's like they're pretending to be that, and it's like this exactly what you said. This is a sacred place, like, and it comes off the wrong way as like, it's like going to a Disneyland attraction versus an actual, temple or whatever. And I really like what you say about that.
People don't realize, I think, when they travel, these are real places with the real people. Like, you might be going to Japan for a vacation, but the smudge or footstep that you leave on that temple,
yes,
and you don't clean up after yourself, or the piece of trash that you throw, somebody needs to clean that up, and that's somebody's home, that's somebody's temple, that's somebody's area. And just because you're traveling here, you pay to get here, doesn't mean that you get to do whatever you want.
Right.
It's like, you have to try to respect as much as you can.
And you do that.
You're not always gonna get it perfect. We're gonna disrespect people by accident all the time because we're tourists.
That's right. That's right.
It is what it is.
Yes.
But you got to do your most. You got to do your best. That's how I see it.
And I think people appreciate when you try. That they can see an effort into it because they can tell right away if you're doing it just for the sport of the laugh, or if it's actually was just a misunderstanding or an accident or whatever. Yeah. Then the people really appreciate that effort that you've or the respect that you've given it. So. There's a couple of channels that I'm going to send you links to. There was one is our past guest, and it's Where is Danny Black? Okay. He's from Detroit, living in Australia, and he plays music. He was our guest a couple months ago. He plays music on cruise ships, and his wife is a famous hula hoop entertainer on there as well. And they they travel over, so I thought that'd be a good channel for you to get to know. And also from Alberta, is Canada, is Down the Rabbit Hole, and she's a teacher, but also does travel videos from her.
I was checking out her channel earlier.
Oh, were you? I was hoping you guys get to meet. Marty's fantastic.
Yeah. I was basically, anytime you mentioned somebody with travel, if I saw the name travel, I was like instantly clicking them just to check out everybody. I try my best right now, especially now that I'm at the size that I am on YouTube. Not that I'm pulling in crazy views, but I am trying my best to connect myself with the smaller YouTubers that are starting out, the people who have lower numbers in the travel genre specifically, because I know when I was first starting out, the sense of community was really needed, and I didn't have it, especially in the travel genre. I had a lot of friends that were starting out that were making videos about tech and music and stuff, but I was like the only one doing travel in my little community. And so if I can help support or make somebody feel more comfortable with the decisions, because making travel videos is not like, it's the weirdest niche on YouTube because it makes no sense. If I can be there to support somebody, I would love to. So if you have any channels like that, send them my way.
You're gonna love, and Marty's just incredible. She was our very first guest we ever interviewed. she's the first.
Oh, awesome!
One. Yeah, she was our first one that helped get us into it. And I like how she brings her humor into it. That she's the teacher, and she'll be here in a live stream like, I gotta let you go for a second. One kid just put his head through the gyp rock, or I'll be typing, oh God, the diapers just came off, I'll be back. And then she's got that great humor for it.
She just was saying that she would like to have her kids to take a gap year with her, like, instead of going with friends out to travel, to have a gap year with mom. I think it's a great idea.
That was so cool.
Yes.
I always think about like how I'm going to continue traveling when I have kids, or if I will. It would be cool to have kids like experience that stuff young, but the logistics of it, I can understand as a parent, it might not be the easiest thing to get kids to just travel around the world.
If they get used to it early, they're good at it. As the older, it's harder. Like people, when I told you about Iceland, 6 days, and we actually then stayed with friends for one night, and then went for 4 more days in a car, an Audi A5 across Denmark. And people thought we were nuts and insane and that, but I said they're kids. They're the easiest to get along with of all. It's the adults that have a harder time adjusting to something like that. We took our kids one time actually to where Latvia, Belarus, and Russia meet, and we almost got caught and paid €3,000 each fine, and I would have been kicked out of the country and the kids for 5 years and everything else, and we stumbled right by the border. And we got permission finally after a long story of the border crossing guards. They liked the Edmonton Oilers hockey team. It's a long story. And we got back into there, and we actually got to take them to the point where the 3 countries meet, and there's cameras everywhere. And there's a row of trees with a walkway on each side, and about 50 feet long with poplar, and a little bridge about 10 feet long with a creek. You walk across that, you go right into Belarus, and on the other side was birch trees. So they each had their official tree for their country. And it was eerie. There's cameras everywhere. Every one of their armors are watching you like a hawk, and you can't touch anything. There was no fence or nothing at that time. It was just little poles with police tape across it. That was it. And then the 3 main poles on the other side. And in the middle, there's a tree, a round tree, 60 feet high on a mound of earth about 15 feet high, and it's made from the ashes of 40 villages that were destroyed during World War II. And there's 3 pillars coming out of it, and each one has a message of peace in Belarusian, Latvian, and Russian.
Damn, that sounds intense. That
It
sounds
was.
like a place I need to visit.
Yes, that's what I was saying. I thought if
Yeah.
there's anybody, I think I've waited 3 years to tell you that story that we went there, so you feel that we're not just blowing smoke, that we actually really like what you do. And I thought you would.
Well, I am planning tentatively right now for the summer to. It's very very much in the planning stages right now, but I'm planning a potential giant trip across Europe, especially Eastern Europe. I really want to hit up like Armenia and Azerbaijan and Latvia and Estonia and Belarus and all these places that are a little more off the beaten track in Europe.
Right.
So I'm planning that right now. So there's a very big possibility, because I met in the Philippines a really good friend from Riga. His name was Rihards, and he was just like he's become like a super close friend of mine now.
Oh, that's amazing.
And so he's been trying to get me to come to Latvia, like back to Latvia for a very long time. He's like, you need to come here and experience the culture and experience what it's like. He was like, after you do Russia, you can graduate to Latvia. So I was like, all right, I'm excited.
I love it. And Belarus is on my bucket list. I've done all the countries except for Portugal and Italy, from Iceland all the way down, but I haven't done Belarus, and that's my next bucket list. That's my next place
awesome.
to go.
Italy is incredible as well. Don't miss out on Italy. I love Italy.
I went by train down in that part, and I didn't want to go without Xenia. That's something I want to do together.
Well,
so.
I want to do a very special Mediterranean tour.
Oh, please don't tell them about. She wants me to rent a car and drive from Lisbon all the way to Italy, and I'm like, do you know that's 4,000 kilometers of 2-lane?
Oh, you can do it. You can do it.
Thank you.
You should do it.
Thank you. Finally.
I got you, sister. I support you. You should do it 100%. The drive, I can tell you, I don't know where in Italy exactly where you want to go, but if you drive on the west coast of Italy, it is, I've been to a lot of places in my life. It is one of the most incredible scenic drives on planet Earth. Oh. It sucks. The Italians drive like animals. It is uncomfortable, but it is gorgeous. It is like absolutely incredible.
Oh, okay. There we go. You got your vote.
Thank you. I thank you.
I got you.
Yeah, I was just hoping to do the leave Spain, because we've been to Spain, but we've never been to Lisbon. But she wants to drive from Lisbon all the way there, and then we got to come all the way back.
And Gibraltar in the middle.
I do want to see Gibraltar.
Gibraltar is so awesome.
Is it?
So cool. Gibraltar is incredible.
Oh my God! It looks like it's not of this earth. It really does. I might be wrong.
It really isn't. It makes no sense. And there's just like monkeys just hanging around abusing people. It's really it's an incredible spot.
How long were you in Gibraltar for?
It was one of the stops on the cargo ship, so I had like a day and a half there. We got a little delayed there as well, because the Straits of Gibraltar had like this weird current that was going through, and so they're like, if we sail a little too fast past this, the boat might flip over or the ship might flip over. So everything's very calculated, especially in that little crossing.
Yes, but it must have been amazing though.
Incredible. Waking up in the morning and seeing the Rock of Gibraltar on one side and then seeing the Atlas Mountains in Morocco on the other side, like, because it's a view that not a lot of people get to see. They come to Gibraltar, they usually fly in. I'm like arriving from the sea. On one side, I have these massive mountains in Morocco. On the other side, I have Spain and then England. Like, there's a giant prehistoric rock. It's just incredible.
Oh my God.
That sounds
I
so
get
amazing.
tingles.
Yeah,
like,
the way you describe
I want to
it.
be there. I want to be
It's
there.
exactly what we're hoping it would be.
Yes.
It's amazing, especially when you're on the cargo ship. You're up high. You know, it's kind of like it's like a few feet up, like a few floors up, like a building, and you're in the ocean. You get to look from like an angle that not a lot of people get to see, the rock. And then when you actually go into the area of Gibraltar and climb the rock and get to the top, you can look down and see your ship. And it's like, oh my God, I went from here to here and then here to here. Like, it's incredible.
What an amazing event. The stuff you've seen, and like you say, you brought it up right there, it's the perspective you've seen it from, I think, is as amazing as the views themselves. I really do.
Yeah. Definitely. I try to be very grateful about the things that I get to see, because I know that not a lot of people get to experience this stuff, especially not at the age that I'm at. And it's like, there's been quite a few times where I've literally, like, things have made me cry. Just like looking at a view has made me cry, just of how beautiful it actually is. Specifically in South Africa, I was like, it was the first trip I had ever done by myself, pretty much. It was the origins of my YouTube channel. I was in like a tour safari car with a bunch of other people, and they started playing Circle of Life. And of course, tourists playing Circle of Life driving through South Africa, but it was just seeing these overhanging cliffs and giraffes and zebras running around, like, just in the nature, and you're just driving through it. I just started bawling out. I was crying so hard, because it's just so beautiful. Like, you can't believe it's real.
You can't believe you're there either, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know,
You have to pinch yourself.
yes, and it is true, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. It really is. There's been a lot of moments where you kind of like, I get like lightheaded. If I'm seeing a view, I'm just like, whoa. Like I need to take a step back and really realize where I am.
Wow. I'm just looking at your Top Deck Travel African Insight Day 3. We're just looking at a couple of clips here.
Yeah.
Wow, the
It was so cool.
hippopotamus,
Such an incredible trip.
the elephant and the burrowed. I mean, that's an elephant sitting in there, like, you know, to that depth and everything. That's
I know. That's why I like those videos. You know, they're so raw. It's
Yeah.
like look, the way it is. You know.
Yeah.
But the way you're probably not gonna see it yourself. You know, you have that option to see it through your eyes. It's unbelievable.
Thank you so much, Farmall Fanatic.
Oh.
Guys, there is Farmall Fanatic. He's one of the ones that helped us get you to 100K that night. He's the one who had the temporary live stream to send people over to us.
They give you
To send people over to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll take it very much.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my God. That's the spirit of it. So sorry, I just had to bring that up. He's definitely one of the ones to thank for sure. So everybody was so excited for you that night.
It's so cool. I really have to say, it's so amazing the community that you guys have built here. Like the fact that like I mentioned earlier, when I first started out, I was craving a sort of community that I couldn't find on YouTube. It was very hard. And to just literally, if you read the comments, you just read the live streams. Like you guys have seen me. I've been popping in to your live streams.
Yes, you have.
And like I just read some of the comments. People are so freaking friendly to each other. It's like a real community here. People are literally just like loving each other in this thing, and it's very rare on YouTube, I think, to find that. YouTube can be a very nasty place.
Oh yeah.
And you guys are like this little beacon of beauty and good within all this mess. So really, props to you guys. I think everybody in the chat, if you can hear me, let's give them a little. Let's give them the mom and pop over here. You guys are killing it. You guys are the best.
Thank you.
That is so kind of you to say. We try our best, and we've had our run-ins. There's people don't like it. We've seen the other side of it, but you just still stay true to form. That's all you can do, and you're not going to be for everybody. And focus on the ones that do like what you do. Is always that's what it comes down to.
Keep on keeping on.
Yep, that's right. I always have this. A lot of them have heard this before. I always say my live stream is like a bar. And if there's 100 people and 2 are enjoying, 90 are enjoying themselves, and the 2 drunks are causing problems, they have to go because it's not fair to the other 98. And if you don't do that, the next time they bring 10 friends and 10 less of the good ones come, and so on until you lose it. So it's up. That's the only part that's us, but they make it what it is. So
yeah, 100%. I think the community here is just like you guys keep at this, and the more and more people that join in, I really think that this channel can make a super positive change on the YouTube community. Seeing it like 7,000 might not be significant to you guys. I'm sure it's very significant to you guys, but when the average person comes across a YouTube channel with 7,000, it's very easy to dismiss it and say that's not a big channel.
Yeah.
But when you look at who's engaging on this channel, you can see that each one of these people here is here to make a change. You can tell these people are here for positivity.
Yes.
And they're not here to add a negative light into YouTube. You keep that up, you have more people join this circle, you have more people in this pool. I really think that Pusa could make a real big change on YouTube.
Oh my God, thank you so much. That's so
It
kind of
means
you
a
to
lot.
say.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. We work hard at what we do. We try to do it the best, and that means a lot for somebody like you to say that.
Yes.
Thank you.
No, thank you guys for real for what you do. I think I can speak on behalf of everybody in the chat as well. I'm sure that everybody would agree with me that it's really incredible.
And thanks for coming back like that. That does mean a lot. By the way, I wanted to say that. So
my pleasure.
You know, because it would be easy. We didn't meet that night and say thank you. Good to meet you and off. It means a lot.
Yeah, we've been very busy. It's been hard to schedule it.
No, I know, but I love it.
For real, I hope I can come back on again. Like I'm very honored to be on here. Seriously, it's an honor to be on here.
Well, it's our honor to have you. I mean, it really is. I mean, because I'm always hoping
we're just going to run in a compliment.
That's right. We're notorious. It's a Canadian fight.
Yeah.
That's what we call it.
Now,
if I can, has been said tonight.
Let's get back to travel.
Yeah. Let's get back to the series.
But I do believe that channels like you inspire other channels, and everybody can inspire somebody. Whether they have 10 subscribers or 1 million subscribers, they got something to bring to the table if they want to have their
100%.
voice. So I do. That's why I appreciate having you here so much. I think this gives other channels to see, because a lot are in a rush right now to grow fast. We all are, but realizing how much work you've put into yours and the time shows them, what good things do take time. Not everything is a Jake Paul story. You actually work at your channel.
I mean, and then look at Jake Paul and Logan Paul now. It was a very, they might have become millionaires and stuff, but you can look at the influence that they've had on the world, and you can't really say that it's been a positive one.
No.
So, like, I don't think anybody should ever aspire to be like that. But I think the biggest thing that comes down to it is it's really persistence and consistency.
Yes.
The biggest thing since I've started this, since this has become my full-time job, I've had a lot of friends from back home like reach out and be like, not that they made fun of me, but a lot of friends were very like skeptical of what I was doing when I first started out.
Of course.
And I didn't personally believe that it was really possible in the beginning. But now that they're seeing that I'm making money and I'm able to live my life, I was able to move to New York City. Like, I was able to do things that a lot of them can't do right now. A lot of them are starting to question, like, how can I get involved with this? And not a lot of people are willing to put in the time that it takes to grow on YouTube. You have to be so persistent. You have to work for years, unpaid. You just get, sorry for lack of better words, but shit on over and over again by YouTube and the system. And eventually, one thing will blow you up. Yep. One thing will bring you to the top, and you just run with that. You just consistently roll with that. It's just exponential growth. You just have to stick with it.
Well, your growth, you can see it. You always strive to get better and better and better. You can see that from where you started till now, and you've always seemed to have that vision. And you've always treated everybody, when you did a video, as if you had 10 million subscribers. You didn't kind of lay on your laurels and wait till it was bigger to make them feel appreciated or give them great content. You always put your best foot forward. And that, to me, is the key to your growth.
I think so as well. And once again, like, I haven't been perfect. It's been mistakes. And I still don't think like my channel's when you look at my channel overall, and I'll be very open about this, and I am very open about it on my channel. Like, feel free to judge. 100,000 subscribers, I struggle a lot to bring in views on my YouTube channel. And that's because of the decisions that I've made growing the YouTube channel. A lot of times I fed onto viral growth. Like, I made videos that I knew would blow up and they got millions of views, but the people that subscribe from those videos don't watch anything else that I make. Right. And so I've made mistakes, quote unquote, growing the YouTube channel that I'm currently trying to fix. But it really is just like a rinse and repeat and a rinse and repeat. You try something and it fails and you try again, but you don't give up. You never, ever give up. Like, this move to New York City, I thought it was going to bring more. I thought I'd have more of a consistent audience. I thought that I would be bringing in more viewers and more people. Right. It didn't happen exactly the way I thought it would happen, but I'm not sad about it. I got to live here. I got the experience. I got to connect with people. I got to meet people. Hell, if I didn't move to New York City, I probably wouldn't have met you guys. Like, who knows? You never know. The live stream might have not added up. So you just look at the positive things that you're able to grow in the meantime, and just take those positive things, throw away the negative, and just keep running with it.
That is so well said, man. That's right there for this rate of gold.
But I want to dig a bit deeper into the practice, because I know people in the chat are wondering. You mentioned some of the things that you would be doing differently, but like, from the practical point of view, what are, like, looking back now, I would be doing this differently, like things that people in the chat would be benefiting from knowing not to do.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of a gray area and I'm happy to talk about it. Like, I've been very open about it on my own YouTube channel. And I will say there's a bit of controversy that comes with this, because not everybody is willing to talk about it. And it really is a bit of a gray area right now on YouTube. But this is specifically geared toward travel channels. On YouTube, there's a specific formula that you can follow when you're making travel videos that's very easy to blow up a YouTube channel. I could tell anybody in this chat right now, if they wanted to make a travel channel and go from 0 to 10,000 subscribers in the course of like 3 months, I could tell you the exact way to do it. Verbatim, I could tell you where to go, what topics to make videos on, and you will be a YouTuber, quote unquote. And there's a lot of people that have followed that formula. And so I definitely dipped my feet into that for a little while. I'll say a little more than a little while. I did it because it felt good and I was making money and I was able to bring in views, specifically in the Philippines. Is a country where a lot of people go to make travel videos, and because the Filipinos love to watch foreigners traveling their country, you get this false sense of your YouTube channel is doing really, really well, and you'll blow up in subscribers. I went from like 20 to 50,000 or 60,000 subscribers in the course of 3 months. It was an insane growth that I'd never seen on my YouTube channel. Millions of views, at people stopping me in the streets for pictures, interviews on the radio, potential TV deals, like just crazy stuff. And when I left, all of that vanished overnight, just gone. It's just gone. It doesn't exist anymore. And so when I look back at it, Is it worth it? I don't know 100%. Like, it's part of my story, and I'm glad that I traveled to there because I got to experience so many cool things. And the Filipino people are amazing, and the Philippines as a country is incredible to travel to. But when I look at the growth of my YouTube channel, even the video that's playing on screen right now for my love hotel is a perfect example. I made a video that I knew would go viral in Japan. Right. I knew this thing would blow up. But the audience that came from there were either making fun of me and my friend for being in a love hotel together, or they were making fun of me because the video wasn't juicy enough, or
right.
The audience that came from that video was not somebody who came for me. They just came because they came across it. So it's been a little bit of a struggle finding that balance of, do I make videos for people who want to watch me? Do I make videos for the people who want to watch travel guides? Do I make videos for people who want to see viral content? Because I know how to make it all now. So it really is. I can't say that I regret anything that I've done, because the first year doing this full time was really like a test phase.
Right.
But moving forward now, I'm really trying to pride myself on finding ways to not dip into the same mistakes that I was doing earlier, to really find ways to be responsible with this YouTube thing, to make sure that I'm uplifting a community like you guys are, really holding myself to the same standard that you guys hold yourself to when you're not even at 10,000 subscribers. Like, you hold yourself to a standard of building a community that's respectful and that's growing right. So I draw a lot of inspiration from that. Wow. And I want to find a way to do that with the travel channel moving forward. So it's less of a regret of things in the past, but more, how can I take what I did in the past and work on it for the future? Sorry, that was a bit of a ramble.
Oh, no. I think everybody was like, give us more.
Yeah. You have the hook, line, and sinker, I'd like to think, on that one. And it's true. And I do, like, that's something with us. You've seen now we have our shout-out night, our wheel, and that, and it's a lot of fun. And we've sometimes bring in 3,000 people on that one, and people thought we were nuts when we went back to interviews. But we don't want to be known just for that. And it's a balance of everything. And that's what, like you say, that it would be easy to just jump on the bandwagon and say, this is rolling, let's roll with it for all we got. But people will get sick of it. They'll hate it. There's no way that's going to last if you're doing it 5 nights a week.
It's easy and it's tempting too. It's very when you see how easy the growth is on something else. I know right now, if I were to make 15 love hotel videos, I would make a crap ton of money. My YouTube channel would blow up. But is that what I want to do? Is that my legacy? I'm a love hotel guy. I'm the guy who just goes to love hotels.
Yeah.
I don't know how I felt about that. So it's all about taking a step back and realizing what you're really proud of. And I tried a bunch of things. When I came here to New York, I immediately jumped on the bandwagon of making worst food videos, and all of them blew up. One by one, they all blew up. But I gave myself food poisoning, and I was like, is that worth it for the video? Am I the guy who wants to give himself food poisoning? Like, I might dip into that again, but is it worth it is what it comes down to, I think.
That's all great questions. I mean, and everybody's just taking this all in, because that's exactly where a lot of people are right now. And it just shows that even at 100K, you're still going through those same kind of questions. That's the main message that I'm glad you're bringing tonight, is showing once again that there's no difference really in the way we approach YouTube, or the ups and downs you have, or the questions do hit people with 1,000 subscribers the same as with 100,000.
I think I value myself very much as the same as a person with 100 subscribers or with 0 subscribers. Like, I don't, just because of the number that I have of subscribers, I don't put myself up on a pedestal. I will, for example, say that like the amount of work that I put in is definitely different to somebody who's just starting out, because I know what the amount of work, I see the struggle that I've had to go through to get to the point that I'm at. But the amount of respect that I have for somebody who's just starting out is the same, because I think that maybe Joe Schmo, who's starting a YouTube channel today, will blow up and pass me in a week, because that's how things move on YouTube. Things move like this. I went from 5,000 subscribers to 20,000 subscribers in the course of a month. That was like a big change. Everything happens very fast on this website. So it's very easy to get cocky, and I see a lot of YouTubers get cocky and kind of have like their nose up in the air. Right. But you got to keep yourself grounded and remember that we're just people holding cameras, talking to a camera. We're not special. Like we're just people. There's nothing like going on here. Like the people who hold themselves to some sort of like celebrity status when you're making YouTube videos is, in my opinion, so stupid. You need to keep this thing leveled. We're all people. We're all, we all need to be connected.
Well, it's kind of become the new rock star. I mean, from like I'm 45 and growing up, it's become the new like Guns N' Roses, and all these bands have now become the YouTubers that are getting that. Am
I Axl Rose?
You are. Yeah. I was gonna throw some Slash in there for you.
Maybe I feel like I look more like Slash when I used to have long hair.
That's true. Actually, that is true. That is true. But it is, and a lot of young people looking up, and there is a lot of egos. I mean, there's some young ones that was like high ego, and they come to the crash the same as the rock stars did. You know, sometimes the channel then bombs and they're left high and dry. And what do I do now? And that they're starting to face those problems that happened all those years with music. Is now hitting in the side, or people trying to make it on here. I've had people message me, I've got 700 subscribers. I'm close to 1,000. I gave my boss my notice. I'm quitting and I'm doing YouTube full time. And I've just spent $10,000 in equipment. It's like, no. You got 3 kids at home, you know? Like,
we
oh my
had
God.
people let we know that have moved states
Yes.
with like under 1,000 subscribers to like change their life and do YouTube full time.
With a wife that needed a ton of medical help and kids and nothing to eat and a spare tire
And you're
strapped
like,
to the roof.
want to scream at them. I'm like, stop.
I believe
know?
in following your dream and I believe in all that stuff, but I'm watching people suddenly throw. It's not because they're following their dream because they want to be a YouTuber. It's because they want to come out of the situation they're into.
Yes, most
and
of
that's
the
where the difference is between the two of them, you know? And yeah, there's, it's hard
You have to take this line of work, especially when you start doing it as a job, in a very particular way. Like this is definitely not for everyone. This lifestyle, it is not for everyone.
Right.
A lot of people think I can say confidently, everybody that I've mentioned earlier, like how I mentioned, I started off with a community. I'm literally the only one. There's actually one other person that's still going nowadays. But like 5 years ago when I started, there's one other person in my little circle that has actually stayed with it. And this was like a group of 100 people. There were 100 different channels, and I'm the only one who stuck through it. And it's because, you do have to be, from a certain point, kind of sick in the head to do this as a full-time job. It is. Imagine having to listen to yourself every day, edit yourself every day, find the insecurities in yourself, the imperfections in yourself, and then have people comment on that. You know, have people critique your every move, have people telling you what to do. Complete strangers. It's just like having an audience of people telling you what you can and can't do, what you should and shouldn't do. So it is, you have to be, from a certain point, kind of sick in the head. And that's not to discourage anybody. I think that everybody should take a crack at it if they're interested. But it's the persistence that will fizzle the people out. It's the people who can't be persistent or can't keep it through that will fizzle everyone out. It's the people that really are here to work hard and make it through that will make it to the finish line, for example.
That is so well said.
Yes.
That's and you put it like you say, editing yourself every day, hearing yourself every day, all those things that come with
Crazy.
it.
It's mad.
Yeah, it is. And you really put it so well. I've never heard anybody else say it that way before.
And there's no guidebook to it. It's not like you can't go to film school to be a YouTuber. Like if you want to be a director nowadays, you might not succeed, but there's a path you can follow. Here, everybody's channel behaves differently. There is literally no formula you could follow that will be 100% predictable. You know, you can't get a degree for this. There's no job security. There's no even financial security. Every check every month balances like crazy.
Yeah.
You know, you in the Christmas season, you're like raking in money. A month after that, it's zero. Everything is down. There's nothing, and then it jumps up again, and it jumps down. So it really is a crazy line of work. But at the end of the day, you get to call your own hours. In my situation, I get to travel around the world. I have no boss to speak to. It's all on me.
Right.
And I'm the happiest I can possibly be. It's stressful. It's hard work, but there's no complaints. It's really incredible.
No, and then you're the right person for the job, and that's where it comes down to. Some of them look and say, "Oh my God, I want to make that." You know, that kind of not like even past you. They're looking at the Jakes and all these ones, and they jump into something that's not even suited for them, and they're doing it just because their eyes on the money. And if you're doing it just for the money, you're going to be deeply depressed. You can do well on it. There's no debate. But it can't be your only.
You can make a lot of money on YouTube.
Yes, for sure.
You can also make no money.
Yes.
It's like there's the two opposite ends of the spectrum, but it really comes down to the amount of work that you're willing to put in. If you're willing to take this and just run with it and not get paid for a long time and really pull your heart and soul, I think that anybody eventually will be able to blow up or to make money on YouTube. I'm a test case. I can tell you guys, literally a year ago at this time, I had zero money. I had like no money in my bank account. I had maybe $1,000 in my bank account. I like nowadays I was able to move to New York City. This was in 1 year. My life changed from doing this because I just stuck to it. And even before that, I was traveling for broke for years with like $300 in my bank account. I would just travel until I ran out of money. But I can tell you guys, as like living proof, it is so possible to do this as a full-time job. It's really possible. But it's really just determination. You can't give up. You have to work really hard.
I love that. And I mean, that's a long time you were into it before you started generating revenue. Like, I mean, into it.
Years. Like 4 years before anything.
But you stayed with it, man, and I'm glad because the world needs you. It really does. You have such a great channel. This is gonna be seen. Like, I'm glad you were able to stay with it and that because you got
I
work.
appreciate that. I think I do have sometimes a pessimistic look on the channel, like where I'm like, oh, I'm only bringing in 1,000 views for video. That's not that many. But then I try to remember, like, that's a room with 1,000 people, even 5,000 people is a crazy amount of people. Like, that's a huge to be able to reach that audience, or to think of the amount of people that have gotten to subscribe. And then I remember that I think that legitimately this is really only the beginning of my YouTube channel. Like, when I try to have not a pessimistic look on it, I think that if I can see myself getting into that millions and reaching more of an audience, this is baby steps. This is nothing right now. This is the beginning of the story. Like, there's no point in being pessimistic about it because there's so much more to come.
I love that. It's so inspiring, and it is.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's kind of surreal to have you on. I don't get this very often because we did have something that we've had like a big channel last week on. It was quite huge, but it's just because we watched you for so long. It's amazing that you're sitting here. I got to remind myself now and then,
We got to do this in person sometime. That would make it better.
Hey, you got it. That's done, and done. I kid you not. Yeah. But everybody has their story to it, and I see it motivating people over time. And that was kind of our goal as we started interviewing people, was to keep getting more and more. But it doesn't have to be people with 10 million subscribers. People with 500 subscribers can have a fantastic story and a new perspective on here.
Yeah.
And varying them all, we had, do you know the Sean Ward show?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, he's out of Toronto. He has 3.4 million subscribers. He joined us last month, and he was the same way. He's like, oh, my God, we did the test run. He's like, God, I can't wait to be on here. And it's like, have you seen our channel? Like, you have 1.75 billion views, But
yeah, it doesn't matter, though. I think, like, when you get to this point, the numbers are just numbers. They're just, like, they're either dollar signs to you or they're just numbers. Like, it becomes irrelevant.
Right.
Up until the 100K mark, I was like, yes, I was very excited to hit that milestone. But for the last few months, doing this stuff, I'm just kind of like, it's just numbers. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you have a million, because I've met YouTubers with 1 million subscribers. I've met YouTubers with 1,000 subscribers. At the end of the day, they're just people.
Yeah, exactly.
The ones that hold themselves to a higher degree, those are the ones I judge on like more of a negative basis. But if you're just a human, you're just a human. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't care I don't care the subscriber counter that's attached to your channel. I care who you are as a person and the things that you're doing on YouTube to change the platform. And I think because this is so new, I mean, this line of work has only really been open for YouTube's been open for 12 years.
Yeah.
Partner program's been open for 8 or 9. Like, it hasn't been open that long. There's barely a decade of research done on how you can do this as a full-time job.
Yeah.
The more people contributing, even if you have 500, 1,000, 1 million, the more people contributing information to this in a pool, the more we work together as YouTubers as a whole, and we don't try to like cut up each other, one up each other to do better than one another, but we try to contribute together. The better it's going to be for everyone. That's like simple math. That's simple.
Yes.
That's like a simple answer right there. More people contributing to positive on this platform, the better it'll be for everyone as a whole.
That is so well said. And it is true. It really is. People are even agreeing right in the chat right away onto that.
It's been so cool seeing people in the chat saying that they want to travel. And I've been reading the chat on the side. It's awesome.
Well, yeah, like I said, I had no worries about you inspiring people. That was a given. I knew this. There's some people we know that are going to be like that inspiring guest.
Oh yes, definitely.
And yeah, you did not you don't disappoint in any shape or form.
And you speak the same things that we are trying to tell people coming to our live streams. Exactly the same. That it doesn't matter what the count of your subscriber count is. Human is a human. There's human behind every channel, and it doesn't determine if you're better or worse because you have more or less subscribers or views. It has nothing to do with it whatsoever. And I just loved hearing that. Thank you.
I remember when I was in the summer that when I blew up for the first time, my cargo ship video blew up on Reddit. It was like on the front page of Reddit. I just went through that barrier of going like 5,000 views a video, 5,000 subscribers, and I was reading in like 100 or 200 views a video. I was really kind of sad. I was like, I don't know what I could do with all this. And then my channel blew up, and it was like 1,000 views a video every video, which made me super happy. I was like, that's a big goal. At 15,000 subscribers, I'm rolling it now. I'm an official YouTuber. I had this YouTuber. His name is David Hoffman. His channel is David's Been Here. He at the time had 50,000 subscribers, which to me was like, oh my God, that's a huge YouTuber. Like, that's massive. 50,000 is crazy. He had sent me a comment. He commented on my YouTube channel. He was like, dude, love your stuff. This is so cool. I'm from Miami. Let's hang out sometime. And I read that comment and I was like, what? Me? Want to hang out with me? I have nothing. It's like, we're not even on the same level. You're so much bigger than me. And then he like sent me a message and we exchanged WhatsApp, and he became like my father on YouTube. He became like a huge role model in my YouTube community. He helped me with information about money, with brand deals, and he never, like, he doesn't know me. We never met each other. He just liked what I did and was like, this is a person I want to, bring into my life. And now I consider him like family. We are so, so close. And it's all through YouTube. And I've met him twice in person, two times in person. That's it. And it's like, that was really when I realized how he behaved towards me, it set it in my head that I can't behave any different than that to anybody on this platform. The way that he engaged with me meant so much to me, because I was like, this guy at 50,000 subscribers sees something in me enough to reach out and to normalize, like, this guy at 15,000 subscribers, he's cool too. Like, I can talk to him, I can be his friend,
right?
And give him information and help him up and prop him up. And so, like, for him to do that for me meant so, so, so much. It really, like, it took so much out of me. So I set it in my head since that interaction that I can't behave any differently than that to anybody else. I need to uphold that same standard. We are all people. We're all doing the same thing. I don't care what the subscriber counter is, to repeat the point, but we're all people.
I love that message. And David's awesome. We know David, by the way. Yeah, he's got an awesome channel. Yes,
love that guy.
Amazing the footage that he's bringing back to life after all those years, and I love that kind of stuff like that. I think that's so amazing to see.
He's been doing it for years. He's a real guru on travel. He's been traveling since before I think I graduated middle school. He's been going for ages.
And it's the stories, the war stories through it all, they call it. He's seen a lot of stuff in his time.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And we had what was the guy's name on that night that he bought these old family videos on 8mm at a yard sale, and he's in Canada, right?
Yeah, in Toronto.
But he bought it in New York, or he bought it there, but it was a family in New York, and he actually made movies out of these 8mm and got in touch with the family, and they got to see this film after all these years. And I think of David when I hear stuff like that, and his name came up that night. It's in that same kind of realm like that,
Yeah.
With all the new technology and reviving the old too, I think is so cool like that.
Mark Holtze,
Mark. Yes.
He's a TV editing, like a producer and editor, but that's what he was doing on his YouTube channel, and it's the same thing. We had some questions.
My friend Jacob, who was helping me put up the live stream when we were doing that. Right. He's here. I'm at his house right now. He recently bought a Super 8 camera. He's saying hi from the other side of the room.
Hey.
Say hi to Jacob, everyone.
Hi, Jacob.
He bought a Super 8 camera with. Oh, he's coming over. Curious.
Excellent.
Give him a moment. He's gonna come say hi.
That is awesome.
There he is. How are
you? Guys, this is Jacob Carlson. His YouTube channel. Check out Jacob.
Oh,
he's one of the coolest on the planet. Thanks, dude. I love this guy.
We had such a fun. You guys were so awesome together that night. I loved it. It's great to see you in the shot.
He's in the middle of editing, and I'm wearing headphones so he can't hear. He said you were awesome that night when we were live streaming. Oh, thanks.
I loved it.
Thank you.
But yeah, so he recently he got a Super 8 camera and Super 8 film, which is like, all the way filming stuff. And there was this day in New York City where they were doing this, like, it wasn't like a reenactment, but it was like they basically restored like an old subway system, and they had everybody dress up in like 1920, 1930s attire. And he went out and shot it with a Super 8 camera, which is relevant to the time that was at. And it's on his YouTube channel. It looks so cool. Like he like basically transported everyone back in time.
That is so cool.
Like, the people were dressed the part, and the subway carts and everything was accurate to the time, and he put some like cool little music behind it.
That is so
very,
awesome.
very cool.
That is so thinking outside the box. I love stuff like that. Yeah. Xenia just put Jacob's link in the description, guys. So if you don't have Jacob,
guys, check out Jacob. He's really awesome.
Most definitely. And you guys were great together that night. Once again, the night when he was with you, and then I thought it was so nice that you guys got to do that together, and the way you did it together.
Yeah, dude, he's my teammate. This guy's like my big brother. Like he brought me in. He let me stay in his house when I first moved to New York City. Wow. He let me crash here for like 2 weeks. I only met him like 3 times before that. I like barely know him. We'd been chatting online, but he let me stay at his place, find a new apartment while I was here. And we were just chatting yesterday because I basically been planning my departure from New York. And we were thinking, it was like, it's been so crazy because I've been at his house like almost every day for the last like 4 months. We've been together so much, creating content, just like jamming, playing instruments, just doing a bunch of stuff. So it's going to be weird saying goodbye and like moving on somewhere else.
That's not going to be easy. Yeah, the relationships you make like that, especially
Yeah.
that one, that's going to be tough. That's
Yeah,
going to
it's
be
difficult
tough.
when you're doing the traveling full time because you never get to have a consistent relationship with a lot of people. But yeah, that's it. Super 8. That somebody saw the Super 8 video. It's so awesome. It's one of the coolest videos.
Definitely, guys. Once again, the links in the description. Check out Jacob for sure. And thank you very much, Bowser. Je t'aime, toi aussi. Merci beaucoup. The super chat.
Merci beaucoup.
That's right. A little bit of French. Bowser doesn't speak French, but I like that he took the effort. So.
Your guys are having a YouTuber meetup on Sunday. Somebody was asking at the beginning about your meetup at the end of the week.
Yes. Yeah, we're doing a meetup in New York City. Oh, somebody just super chatted. Je t'aime. Yeah, we're doing a meetup in the Hosteling International in New York City on Amsterdam Avenue from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's going to be like open to anybody. We're doing it like for our people who watch our videos, but we're really trying to get whoever wants to be there, like to ask questions or to learn from what we're doing and just have time to kind of chill with us, especially before I leave New York and before we all kind of go our separate ways when it comes to content and stuff. We were really trying to gather as many people to come out there so we could answer any questions. And we have a cool giveaway going on. We have a few cool products that we're giving away while we're out there.
You can talk about that if you want. Whatever you want to say about it, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so whoever's in New York City from this chat, if you want to come by, we have an event open up on Facebook. Please do. We would love to see you guys.
That is so awesome. You excited for it?
I'm nervous and excited. Yeah, I've done only one meetup before in the Philippines, and it was like 20 people came out, and it was really cool because everybody kind of became friends at the end of the event. Some people actually went off to make a YouTube channel together after the event.
Really?
Which was like mind blowing.
Wow.
But I'm excited because it's in the States. Like, this is my country. I'm born and raised here. So this would be interesting to do a meetup on my home turf.
Which state were you raised into?
I was born in Florida, in Miami.
So yeah, because you said you're going back to Florida. So that is your home, like original home in the U.S. is in Florida.
Technically, yeah. Like, I don't really have a home, kind of homeless, but like, yeah. And my parents live back in Florida, and so all my stuff is there, like my bed and my computer and all my stuff that like I left back home before I traveled. But I've been home, I think collectively like 3 or 4 months out of the year, the last like 4 years.
Wow.
What was never really around.
Can I ask what it was like growing up? We never kind of jumped so much into what you do. Do you mind talking a little bit about growing up? Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. So growing up, I grew up in a very wealthy like upbringing. Hold on, my computer's just losing charge. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna connect to the charger.
No problem.
Jacob Carlson's actually hooking me up.
Oh my God, the best friend ever. Jacob should be like coming. He should come with a cape.
He's the MVP.
He should come with a cape. He's a superhero.
He's saying you need a cape, Jacob.
It's awesome.
He's super Jacob.
I love it.
Am I getting tangled in this wire right now? I'm tangled. Okay. So yeah, I grew up. We were very young, and we grew up my parents are both immigrants from Israel, and so we would travel back and forth between Tel Aviv and Miami very frequently. And then when the recession happened in 2008, kind of the build up to that, we lost pretty much everything. And we moved away to Israel, and then we came back to Florida. And so growing up, I got to experience kind of the best of both worlds of living both in Israel and in the United States. And I grew up in a very like dominant Israeli community there, which was really cool. And I kind of got I always say that because like Jewish people have been kicked out of so many countries throughout the years, just from the last decades. We're very nomadic people at heart. Like, we have our homeland, which is Israel. That's like our heart and soul. But every person who grows up in Israel has to do army service, and at the end of their army service, they usually go backpack the world for like 3 years.
Right.
It's just something that Israelis do. It's like in our DNA.
Right.
And so I always say that, like, I think at a certain place I was really born to do this. Like we have nomadic blood in us, where we just are born to travel and see the world. So I I attribute that a lot to the fact that I was flying around a lot when I was a kid. At 2 months, I took my first flight, and I was very, very young.
Wow.
I was already in the air like at 2 months, 2 months old. So, yeah, that's a little bit of me. I grew up.
It's definitely in your DNA. There's no doubt about that one.
Yeah.
And I'm honored to say that because our daughter flew when she was very young too, like that. So that just gave us hope that she'll be a traveler. So you just lit me up with that. So flying early, folks, get your child flying early. That's a good.
Get them in the air as fast as you can.
That's right. I love that. And what was it like in Tel Aviv? Because I assume in Tel Aviv you were mostly into when you were there, but
it was. I mean, I've recently, in the recent years, I've gotten a chance to like start traveling again in Israel as like an adult, by myself. Because growing up as a kid, growing up with my parents, but getting to really experience my homeland like with my own two eyes and documenting all of it on YouTube. I have like the #1 travel guide on Israel on YouTube and the #1 travel guide on Jerusalem on YouTube, which for me is like such a big honor. Like I've been able to work with the Israeli Tourism Board because of that. It's like I'm getting to represent my country on YouTube, which is so freaking incredible in my eyes. So I've been really able to explore and travel the land like in the last few years and see it just on foot and through cars and different tours for things. And it's just been really cool, like reconnecting with my homeland.
Do you feel now that you're getting to see it through different eyes?
I think so. Yeah, very much so. Because when you're a kid, everything's being done for you and everything's being guided for you. I've had some of my craziest adventures, some of my scariest moments traveling have been in Israel. Like some of my best and worst moments have been there because I feel so connected there. I feel like I could do whatever, and I know the country so well, and so I allow myself more freedom.
Right.
Where in other countries I wouldn't do stuff. I'm a little more reckless in Israel because I know where I'm going and I know the people and I know the language. And so it's allowed me for a real like creative expression when it comes to traveling.
Is there some of your scarier moments? Can you share some with us?
Yes, I actually made a whole video on this recently.
Yes.
So when I was doing in 2015, I think 2015, I was in Israel. I just finished backpacking the country basically for 6 months, and I wanted to do something crazy that I had heard a lot of people talking about, which is basically called the Israel National Trail. And it's a path. It's also called, for a lot of people, they call it the Jesus Walk. You go from the north of Israel, all the way from the tippy top north, all the way to the south. It's like a walking trail. And it takes 2 months long. And you start like in this beautiful forested area, and you make it all the way down to like the harsh desert, and eventually to the Red Sea. And so I embarked on this adventure. I started doing it. And at one of the days, the group that I had started with fizzled out, and I was in this village, like in a little farm with kind of these two like overhanging caverns above me. And I was walking through this farm, and I had no cell phone service. I was very tired. I'd been walking 30 miles every day at that point. I had like boils and blisters all over my legs. I was not in good position. I smelled like crap. I was like about to take a rest day, and I'm walking through this farm. And all of a sudden, these two like massive dogs, like German Shepherds, bust out of a shed, and they just like run right at me, like full speed. And like when a dog is coming at you, it was a sense of like I really thought I was either going to get mauled or attacked or something bad was about to happen. You really get that sense. The only thing I had to defend myself was like a knife on my side, and so I just pulled out this knife and was holding it. And meanwhile, I'm trying to get through this farm. And the thing is, this village was in a specific area that's a little contested in Israel. It's a little bit of like a heightened security area. It's not dangerous per se, but it's not the safest place to be.
Right.
And so I'm in a position where I don't know if I should yell out for help because I don't know if the person coming might want to hurt me as well.
Right.
And I didn't know that whose dogs they were. I didn't have cell phone reception to call anyone or the police. So I'm just in one of those situations where I have to like collect myself and deal with the situation by myself. So I just had this knife. Not like I would have been able to actually kill the dog, because I love dogs, and like I would not have been able to do anything. I'm a total sucker when it comes to dogs and puppies. Like I cannot hurt an animal like that. But I'm just walking with my head down, like trying to keep as like eye contact as far away from the dogs, and they're chasing at me. And then at some point they started like biting my heels, and I was starting to bleed. And they started, you could tell when an animal's like getting that first taste of blood, it's getting excited. It's like, okay, this is happening.
Yeah. And
so my instinct was just like swiping across with a knife, like trying to scare them. Maybe they would feel the sharpness or brush across their skin or something. And sure enough, I just kept my head down. I tried to relax, try to focus on my breathing, and walked maybe like 250, 300 meters forward. It felt like forever, but it wasn't too long, but it felt like so long. It felt like it was hours. And they eventually they gave up and walked away. And that adrenaline rush, your heart's beating like a million miles an hour. And when it's over, you kind of take a second to like look back and you're like, oh my God, I could have actually died. It could have been over and nobody would have known. Like it would have just been the end of my life there. So I always look back at that moment as one of the scariest, hands down one of the scariest moments. Because it was one of the first real like life or death situations that I felt. But it's also one of the ones where I feel like I grew the most out of, because I had no mom and dad to call to. I had no friends to call to. I had nobody to call to. It's me by myself, dealing with the situation and coming out. Yeah, this is the video from the trail.
Yeah. I've been showing little clips as you were talking here and there.
Such an adventure. This is the beginning. It was such an adventure. It was wild. But that moment, like dealing with that, was one of those situations I look back on and like I'm proud of myself for coming out of it okay on the other end and being able to grow from it. And look back at it as a situation where I got injured. I was able to move on though and like survive and make it out of it. So
you kind of
one of the
you kind of grew yourself into it. I mean, that's and I think that's what seasoned travelers look for, is that knowledge growth. And that's where you see it come into play, and you made it through it. And I think that's an amazing story.
Yeah, I think when you travel as much as I do, you get into predicaments. It's inevitable. It's just things happen that you have to. There's so many stories that I could tell you. So many times where I feel like I've almost died. There were times in the Philippines where I got stuck on an island for 5 days. No food, no water, pretty much. Just stuck sleeping on a ferry in the middle of a typhoon, with like zero idea of what's happening. Again, no cell phone reception, no batteries, no chargers. It was like the island ran out of food. Like I've never been in that experience in my life, where an island runs out of food, and I ran out of money, and there's no ATM, so you can't like spend. It's just there's been some crazy stuff, but every single one of them has been a growth process, and it kind of. All the bad shit that you have to deal with when you're traveling eventually tolerates or helps you tolerate your pain tolerance or your annoyance tolerance builds up to a level where you feel like you can handle a lot.
That's a very good way of putting it too, and it's true over time. I mean, you're the picture of the poster boy for all of this. Of over time that you like things that would annoy you at first or upset you or worry you become so much more relaxed onto, and it's survival skills that kick in, it's knowledge, it's experience, all those things play in together for it.
Yeah, and it's once again like all those things that you have to do yourself. That's when you have the most growth. It's like having to figure it out all by yourself with no help. Especially for me, I'm pretty young. Like at the time I was doing these things, I was like 19.
Yeah.
You're still kind of weaning off your parents, like having to not be able to call mom and dad and tell them, hey, I might die. I don't know. It might be over.
Yeah, exactly.
Not being able to deal with that it's scary, but it's also very uplifting, because when you make it out on the other end, you're like, okay, I did this by myself. I am on top of the world. Like I can handle this situation by myself.
I have to ask you too, because I've been playing clips, as periodically through here, talking about surviving stuff. What was it like on the Trans-Siberian Railway? I wanted to hear this from you since the day pretty much I met you, because I want to do. I definitely want to do that. We've talked.
It was an experience, to tell you the least. That part of the world is just incredible. Like you forget how big Russia is. It's like literally the whole planet. It's like half the planet. It's like
true.
It's just massive. It never ends. But it was incredible. It was one of my first real sponsorships, was doing that trip. I got to sponsor up with a company called Spivo. They make this selfie stick that when you hit the button, it spins the camera like 180 degrees.
Right.
And they kind of commissioned me to make them a video about the journey. And so I got the whole trip for free pretty much, and I was able to work with different hostels and stuff. So it was my first time like feeling like I was on top of the world. I was like, damn, I snagged the trip. Like I managed to do this. Little did I know, I booked tickets for the cheapest accommodation on the Trans-Siberian Railway, which is third class, which like nobody does, especially not tourists. So the whole trip to get from Moscow to Vladivostok, which is on the other side of Russia, like the whole country pretty much, was $250 to get from one end of the world to the other. Like to go from the West to Asia. It's crazy. Like you just travel across the planet for $250. So it was interesting. Like you live on the train. The first 4 days we got to spend the first 4 days with a bunch of Russian school kids, and so they were teaching us the Russian language.
Wow.
And so we were just learning words left and right. Like I have some Russian heritage in me as well. My family is a little Russian.
Right.
I'm like a 1/4 Russian, and so I got to learn like a few words and phrases and stuff on the train. So when we got off the train in Siberia, I was actually able to communicate with people and ask people, how much is this? Without knowing actually how, like when they answer me, I didn't know the amounts, but I learned how to count from 1 to 10 in Russian. I learned how to say like bread and meat and water and how are you and what's up and are you good and thank you and all these things, because these kids were kind of training us. They were so fascinated by foreigners traveling in Russia, because it's not something, especially on the third class railway.
Yes.
They were like, nobody does that.
That's what I was going to ask you, if that was by design or by fluke you took third, because that's really put yourself in the belly of the beast, for lack of a better term.
It was by design technically, because I like didn't have the money to spend.
Right.
But boy, if I knew it was going to be as rough as it was, I don't know if I would have done it. Like, I'm kind of happy I went in not knowing as much as I did, because like I read a lot about it, but nothing could have prepared me for it. It was really, it's something else. It's hardcore. Like I really respect the people who do that frequently, because there's a lot of people who use that as transportation to get from Irkutsk in Siberia to Moscow and to other places in Europe, and they do it just frequently because it's cheap. But it was hardcore.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it looked like. Oh yeah. Oh, take me back to that train.
That probably was the best way to get
and
to
my
know.
mustache.
Yes.
That probably was the best way to get to know people and culture in general, because you have like this common area for such a long time with all the people up close, probably closer than you ever have even your roommates when you live together. It's probably the
100%.
best.
You can't escape anybody.
No.
Everybody's like walking next to each other. Everyone's sharing the same phone charger, the same toilet, and like the first day you could tell everybody in the train is like, like everyone's scoping it out, who's gonna leave, who's gonna stay,
right.
Because people are getting off from different situations. By day 4, everyone's a family. I was busting out my ukulele, we were playing music, we were singing with like Russians, like Jason Mraz's I'm Yours on a train going through Siberia.
Oh my god.
Just the most ridiculous thing in life. Like you never imagine yourself in that situation.
I love that.
It's very cool. And on the second half of the journey, when we were traveling in between Siberia to like the far east of Russia, we got to spend time with North Koreans who were working in Russia, which was super, super interesting. Like there were North Korean travelers who come to work there, and we got a little bit of an insight. Like not a lot of people get to have a one-on-one conversation with North Koreans because of the situation in that country, but it was super, super fascinating.
That was very interesting, because there is documentaries done onto it showing. I mean, even the documentaries have had tons of trouble trying to even communicate with them. So for you to get that way of doing it,
and the communication was like very minimal. We could not understand each other. Basically, the North Koreans had these they had Korean to Russian translation books,
right?
And then I was translating using my phone from Russian to English.
Wow.
And I think all these books were like from the 80s or like 70s. They were really old. The pages were like ripped up. They were like super old. It did not look like something that was printed recently. And they like the most I was able to understand from some of them is that they wanted to see movies. And so I had episodes of like Rick and Morty queued up on my computer.
Oh my god.
Morty, and they would be like, no. And then I try to show them the movie Moana, like Disney's Moana. I'd be like, no. And ironically, the only movie on my computer that I was able to get them to watch was Borat. I got them to watch like 20 to 30 minutes of Borat, and then the scene where they get naked or something, they were like, I'm out, I'm done. But it was really funny.
Wow.
Kind of gauging that with another person.
Oh my god.
That is so interesting.
Yeah.
I must say, Andrew has a particular passion spot with North Korea.
I wanted to go for a while now, and I'm sorry I didn't go a couple of years ago. I don't think I would go right now the way things are. Just, I got to think too. I got kids and a family and stuff like that. What is pushing things too much, And right now with the tensions going on, it wouldn't make sense. But I would have loved to have gone, even though I know it's a very sanitized, set up view of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. There would have been something to see into it. I would still like to have went.
I've always had issues. Like it's the same thing. I went to Cuba a little while ago, a few years ago, and it was the same issue for me as with North Korea. Is like, at the end of the day, when you go there, you are supporting the country.
Yes.
And their countries are so the governments are so messed up. They really are. Like the stories that you hear from people that are speaking to locals, and Cuba, I kid you not. I was traveling with other YouTubers there. The whole trip we were crying. At least once a day we were crying. As a group, it's insane. I grew up in Miami, like 90 miles from Cuba. We're so close to each other, and they're trapped on this island, like they can't get off. And it's the same situation in North Korea. So I have kind of taken a step back, especially after going to Cuba. It opened my eyes a lot that I don't think I would be able to, similar to what you were saying, ever travel to a place like North Korea just because of the situation and the way that people are treated there. I don't want to support even an ounce of that.
Right.
And I know that traveling there, in some ways, maybe you're not directly supporting it, but indirectly you are. And I'm trying to be as responsible as I can with those situations, even though it is very tough.
It was just your video, Cuba's Not a Paradise. I watched that before. Yeah.
I got so much hate for that video.
I was going to ask you that. I
get so much hate for it. I get hate a lot, but you know who ironically gives me the most compliments? Cubans. Because they know it. They experienced it.
Right.
The Cubans come onto that video and they're like, yeah, this guy's telling the truth. Because it isn't a paradise.
I mean, us living in Quebec, it's the #1 southern destination. Almost everybody here goes to Cuba. It's a given. You know, it's like...
yeah. I remember in Varadero, there's this beach town. It was all Canadians. Like Canadian flags everywhere.
Yeah.
It was a Canadian tourist population there.
Yeah, it is. And especially French Quebecers go there a lot, too. And they have their certain areas where they can still leave. You know, they got access to French television from Quebec, not France or anywhere. But yeah, it is a double-edged sword with it, really is. Because, yeah, there's another side. They're trapped on an island. Like, that's why you don't see boats. And I remember somebody said that one time, you know, think of it, an island, and you don't see boats anywhere. It just shows you how controlled it is, even for the fishing and that, you know.
I remember they were telling us if they swim like 150 feet offshore, they come and get them. Like, they'll either come pick them up in a boat, or they'll arrest them, or they'll even shoot them. Jeez. It's really scary stuff, what's going on there. We had a farmer... This was particularly one day. I have a video from it. I didn't personally leave any of the footage of us crying, but maybe some of my friends that were doing it with me that day, we were bawling our eyes out so hard because we met this farmer who he was telling us a story. He was the only person who really felt like he could open up to us because a lot of them are very scared. Their biggest thing they always used to say was the bushes are listening. The bushes and the trees are listening. They're like that paranoid and scared of the government. But we had a guy tell us how he... You know, the government at the end of the month, every month they come and they take 90% of everything that he's farmed. They leave him with 10%. They leave him with milk and like a pack of bread for his family, a few vegetables, and that's it. And the man doesn't have money to get shoes. He farms in the hot Cuban sun, barefoot, like 100% barefoot. It's just, it's crazy stuff what goes on there. It really broke me. Like, it's the first time I've ever, you know, I've seen poverty in Mexico before that, and I saw poverty in Jamaica and in different parts of the world, but this was like poverty that could be avoided.
Yeah, it's enforced poverty.
Poverty.
Yeah.
It's crazy stuff. It really makes you appreciate everything that we have, but also like it makes you think about, you know, traveling to those places again. It's like, is it worth it? A lot of people ask me, should I travel to Cuba? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, because if you're just going to go to Havana and you're going to smoke a Cuban cigar, drink some whiskey, take your car, like an old car ride, and then leave after a day, is it worth it for you to go to Cuba? Maybe not. Like, maybe just go to the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico if you want to be a tourist.
Right.
You know, these places are suffering. It's like true humanitarian crisis is happening.
And of course, like with Soviet time and the control over in Latvia, her uncle the other year, he had a couple of bad years farming. And this really put me in perspective because he fought during the revolution to free Latvia, as many other Soviet countries, to be free again. But he had 2 or 3 bad years. They took away about 70% of his farming equipment. And to talk to him, and it was, you realize that how that mentality works. And he said, you know, yes, you know, I'm glad we have our freedom. But back then I would have had my tractor the next year. And back then I would have been set, because communism is almost like going home, as like living at home. You know, it's like everything's taken care of from you. And, you know, there was that side of it, and it makes you think. And it's not that he was wanting it to go back that way, but it was like, well, if we went back home and lived with mom, you know, that would be taken care of for us, you know. And it made me think of all the different angles from where some, like they said, going through it for them, it wasn't so bad in some ways, living more in the countryside. Mm-hmm. Life was life. Like when the wall fell, it didn't change their living, you know, by a million ways. But yeah, there still is the forced poverty that was on a lot of them, you know, and sharing crops and taking away from one country to give it to an equal, you know, plus taking away the big majority selling it.
Yeah,
it was a lot of forced poverty.
I know for some people it works really well. Like there's this guy on YouTube. His name is Bald and Bankrupt.
We just found him like 2 weeks ago.
Yes,
cool guy. He's been traveling. I don't remember what the country he's in right now. He was in Belarus, and then he went somewhere in Eastern Europe right now.
Yes,
and he was interviewing people on the street, which it was in a former USSR country, and he was asking, is like, you know, he just struck up a conversation. He was like, "What do you think? How is life now compared to? Was it Macedonia? It wasn't Macedonia. I don't remember where
it was. Oh my God! It's divided into. I know it. I get Croatia. Starts
Romania?
with a C. No. I'm going to look it up on the map as you're talking because it's driving me.
Look it up and tell me what it is, because it's on the tip of my tongue. I want to go there.
And that was, I think, the first video we seen of him. Remember, he was laughing when he came out. At first, he said, "I was going to laugh at this," but then I realized how heart wrenching it was.
Yes.
And he was saying, like, people, the elderly people there, they were saying, yeah, we liked it in Soviet times. So it might have been scary. Yeah. It might have not been like the most predictable life, but we had a house. Everybody had something, and now the country's in turmoil. It's ruined.
Yes.
So there's a true dichotomy here that's scary with these countries. Like in Cuba, if you try to revolt everything, you never know. You never know what's going to happen.
It was in Moldova. That's where it happened.
Moldova. That's what it was. Moldova.
Yep.
So it's interesting, man. It's hard to sometimes come from the position that we're in. Yes. And like try to either understand or relate, but some people like it the way it is, some people don't. You have no idea, but when I see what happens currently, especially in the more connected world, in Cuba specifically, just because it's so close to home for me. I know so many Cuban people. I basically grew up in Little Havana because of Miami, and when I go to those countries and I meet people like that, and they're telling me that they wish they could take off on a plane and die in the air, and then stay in Cuba because they're so depressed that they're stuck on this island. It's gut-wrenching. It hurts you on the inside. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
They're like family. They're so close to us.
You can have all the paradise. You can have all the paradise in the world and all the beautiful trees, but when your freedom's gone, your freedom's gone. A prison is a prison, no matter where it is. If you don't have the right say over your life,
it makes you value what we have a lot. And that is, once again, unfortunately, to get beauty or to get knowledge from other people suffering, but you really do get that gratefulness, and you really do get that grace when you're traveling. You start really becoming grateful for all the stuff that you have back home.
Yep. Slovakia was like that. I found Bratislava and those places. They were nice, and it's nice for me to travel, but I'm going home at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Same as when I went to Auschwitz. Like I was doing 12 countries in 15 days. Xenia had booked this, and I landed in Belgium. And from there, I went to Luxembourg, Paris overnight, stayed outside, and then flew to Poland, Krakow, and then I was going to do train all the way to Croatia and back. And Auschwitz just sucked the life right out of you. And I'm just a tourist. Like, I'm not. I hate when tourists do that. Oh my God, I died. No, I wasn't a prisoner there. Let's call it for what it is. I just got to visit, and I was gone. But even to see it, I mean, you can smell it, you can feel it, everything there that's gone on. It's. I don't, and words can't even put it into. You can't describe it properly.
Yeah,
I think oftentimes people, by visiting just the central places in any country, Paris or London or Havana, like the regular tourist places, they kind of rob themselves in a way too of actually seeing the country and the reality that is in it, because everything looks pretty, for tourist landmarks, but it doesn't really represent anything from the country itself.
It's not day-to-day life.
No, at all.
Yeah. It's a perfect example with me. Like I've been to Italy 4 times. I'm yet to go to Rome. I haven't been to Rome yet. I've been to Italy 4 times. All I've done is travel like different parts of it, because it's so saturated in tourism. So many people have seen it. I'm not in a rush to get to Rome. I know I could probably get there anytime someday. But I think the beauty with traveling is really, like she said, to go to places that are not the central spots. Don't go to the Eiffel Tower. You don't need to go to Leaning Tower, Pisa.
No.
Go to places that people don't see in their day-to-day.
Exactly. Feel the people out. Go to a local grocery store or something like that, or walk into a regular little department store and see how they live day-to-day. If you're out in the country, go to a little place where they mingle, like, a corner store. Anything, just get the feel of the locals.
Andrew's favorite thing when he was over in Latvia was going to the grocery stores at the beginning to actually see how people live and what they buy on an everyday basis.
I find it interesting. I do.
I'm 100%. I was literally telling my friend Jacob was here. Another friend of mine from DC, Jacob, was here like this week. I was just telling him how I have this strange fascination with grocery stores. Yep. I love grocery stores, and I love like foreign grocery stores, because that's where you get to see humans in their element.
Yes.
There's no more human spot than being in a grocery store or some sort of market.
That is true.
That's like where everybody's thinking of home. What am I going to eat later? What do I want?
Yep. And how they package things and how much variety there is and what's the big items that are there. Like when Xenia first came to Canada, it was amazing to watch her go through an aisle and not say anything and let her see what she picks out of the 10 different types of cereals. What catches her eye? What's she going to notice that's missing that she's used? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was still stunned. Like I came over after 2000, so we had already independence for more than a decade. But I still was so stunned about the variety of things that are here in the stores, like Walmart, or even grocery store. The whole aisles of cereal, whole aisles of flour, and things like that. Like even in the independent countries, was like we didn't have anything like that. So it's so even just a grocery store is so different.
Yeah. Walmart will blow your mind if you're not from. I took my friend. I was on Oahu in Hawaii with a friend from Japan, and it was like his first or second time in the States, and he had never been to a Walmart yet. And me and my friend Moshe took him to a Walmart and like showed him all the cereals and the Pop-Tarts and the Twinkies, and his mind was like, whoa. And then we made this hilarious video where we took him to Walmart. We bought like, I don't know, $50 worth of snacks from Walmart. We spent like all the money we had on the Walmart stuff. We made him like Eggo waffles, and we gave him Fruity Pebbles. And it's a reoccurring thing. He was always like, "There's so much sugar. It's so sweet."
It is.
Everything in America is so ridiculously sweet. When you leave the country, when I left for a year, I remember coming back to the States. I was like, "Oh, our portion sizes are massive." And the amount of sugar and salt that we put into food is insane.
It is.
It's unlike any other place on planet Earth.
It is. It is.
It is. I add an extra, at least half a cup of sugar to whatever I'm baking from my traditional recipes because it's just like, this is so bland.
You've become accustomed to the American ways now.
Assimilation is hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like when I first went over there, they'd be like, "Oh, let's have apple cake," and it'd be, "Well, it's good." And I'm not pushing sugar. It's just so used to it in your diet, like here in North America. And it was like, it's
still
all
adding
right.
salt to all the soups.
Yeah, and I never add salt here ever. I find there's too much.
Yeah.
And there I was starting to put salt on stuff and things like that I'd never done before because there was such a lack of it in their meals. I'm
telling you guys what, I haven't even felt this conversation has flown by. We seriously need to do this in person. Like I want us to have like some beers or wine or something and just have a night where we sit down and have the same conversation in person. No cameras or anything.
No.
This conversation flew by. It's been like 2 hours.
I know. I never even, oh my God. Yes, I thought it's before 9.
I didn't even realize it's been 2 hours.
I love it. And we're up for that anytime.
Definitely.
Seriously, in person, I think we need to have a night. I can cook you guys some delicious Israeli food.
Sounds so
Sold.
good.
Well, Montreal has a huge Jewish population, and you were funny when you said you have the 1/4 Russian. The Russian-Polish district, for lack of a better term, is the Jewish district.
Okay.
Most people have that combined heritage here. A lot escaped in World War II. So I would love to have somebody to really tour around with, and like also that, and then come home and make stuff. I would be all over that.
Definitely.
Yeah, and there's so many things I think we're on the same page about. I love that. It's so amazing.
You're what we want to always travel like, and we haven't been able to do as much with kids that we can get out as much. But you are our type of travel channel. That's why we like having you on here so much.
Thanks, guys.
You're our type of people.
Yes, that's right.
I think so too. I think it's. I mean, the fact that I think we both. I don't know if it moved as fast for you guys as well, but the fact that we were able to just sit here for 2 hours and just snap this conversation without even feeling it. You can't do that. Like I've done some podcast interviews in the last month. The conversations definitely don't flow this easy. Sometimes this feels like a back and forth, and this has felt like a straight conversation. 2 hours. My butt hasn't even hurt from the chair. It's been I've been nonstop rambling. You guys have been nonstop rambling. It's moved so fast.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I never noticed.
We don't want to do scripted things. We don't usually it's hard with you because usually once we have somebody, I don't research anything. She does a lot of research. So we have somebody I'm talking kind of fresh, as if I was in the audience. But fortunately, I know more about you. So this was a different way for me to come about it. But I love it. Oh my God, you're exactly what I was hoping you would be. If that makes any sense.
Let's get to the questions because people are.
Oh yeah, there was people ask questions. Sorry,
I don't want to keep.
Sorry about that.
All of your evening.
Back
So
on track.
I just feel bad for people.
We're gonna get caught in it. We're gonna edit it. Then they're gonna say, "Hey, you didn't ask my questions."
Yeah, no, I know. So Hope Respect just reminded me about the question. So we talked about the meetup in New York City. Is there any other meetup like planned out already after that or not?
No meetup planned right now because I literally don't know what I'm doing with my life.
Right.
I'm leaving New York. I'm going on a self-searching mission across the planet. I literally have no idea. But now that the audience is as big as it is, like I think there's more people around the world that would be willing to do meetups. I've been getting a lot of messages from people around the world. So, I mean, there's for sure going to be meetups. I just don't know where exactly or when.
Okay, awesome. Laj was asking, how do you find decent internet in the places around the world to be able to maintain like the upload schedule that you have?
I'll tell you a little secret. I don't. It's just one of those things about travel vlogging that absolutely sucks. It's just finding internet is the worst part of it. It's just the worst. It's like if you're not staying at a 5-star hotel, and then a lot of times 5-star hotels don't even have internet, or if they do, they charge you like a lot of money for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible for me in the States or in the Western world. Anytime there's an Apple store. Apple stores are great places to try to go. I usually try to stand outside and be as respectful as I can, and just tether their internet. Apple stores like a Best Buy, Starbucks, they're always great. They usually always have internet around the world. But
IKEA.
It's been IKEA. Yeah. Maybe I haven't personally used one of those yet. But also because when you hit that 10,000 subscriber mark coming up for you guys soon, you have access to YouTube Spaces, and so YouTube Spaces around the world. They have super fast internet. They have like 300, 400 megabytes up. And so I've been able to utilize like the YouTube space in London and the YouTube space in Tokyo a few times to go and do work. And just they have these little cafes open for you, so you can just schedule a day when you want to come. And I've been able to like move lots of files around and get all that work done. But it is a struggle. It's absolutely impossible to find decent internet when you're traveling.
Wow,
that's interesting. I use McDonald's as a side note, by the way, when I was traveling a lot. I didn't go in to eat, but I'd always go in, and that was a great place to charge my phone and use internet.
Oh, yeah. McDonald's are great. Yeah, they have internet on most places around the world.
And as this one last side note, I'm going to get the questions. We said about grocery stores. I love the McDonald's because I always want to see in their country what's the big thing, like in Latvia.
What's it like? Yeah.
Fried broccoli, and cheese in Latvia, or like chicken wings in Spain, and all these little nuances.
Yeah, fried broccoli, cheese bites. Who goes for broccoli to McDonald's? Into the Maze asked, at what point in your sub count did you think, oh, wow, this could actually take off?
Ooh, that's such a good question. I think that night that I passed, it was in one night I passed from like 5,000 to 15,000 subscribers. It was in the course of like a night or so. When that happened, I was like, all right, Tala, you got to run with this. Like you have been like basically not doing anything with your life for the last 3 years, just traveling. Like it hasn't been anything focused, but now it's time to gear up. It's like, this is go time. This might be real. So probably then.
Laj asked, have you ever have to pay for like Logan Pauls of the world where you go? Like, if locals have more of impression of YouTubers as somebody as Logan Paul and they don't want to communicate with you because of that.
I was actually going to talk about this earlier when he had mentioned him because it's very relevant. I mean, I'm sure most people know what he did in Japan when he did, so I'm not going to reiterate the point. But he did that stuff in Japan when I was in the Philippines planning my trip to Japan. And so it happened literally like a month before I went to Japan. And so the whole time that I was in Japan, my biggest prerogative was uphold the utmost respect that you can, because I saw this guy, for lack of better terms, this douchebag who was at the same age as me, same exact age as me. I was 22, he's like 23, running around Japan, just being the most disrespectful he possibly could, like doing things that like are shocking to people there. And so when I went there, I really went with the perspective of trying to integrate into the culture, to assimilate, to respect the cultures, to respect the customs and traditions that they have. And yes, I have had to deal with certain things sometimes. There's certain, I think Americans in general get a really, really bad rap. Like people from the United States of America specifically, not from the continent of America, but people from the US get a really, really, really bad rap around the world, especially from other people from different nations, like Canada or the UK or Europe or wherever it is. A lot of people have a very negative image of us. And so they just have this image of us that we just basically are, fat tourists that run around with sunscreen and like, you know, just look for the food that we have back home, like eating McDonald's wherever we go. And it is true to a certain degree. There's definitely a degree of that's true, but it's not everyone.
No.
And so I try to be, I'm always trying to be that first person. If you haven't met anybody like me, I'm always trying to be that first person to set the state for you, you know? Like if you haven't met an American yet, or an American Israeli that's been traveling, and I can be that first person for you, I try to make a really good impression. So they leave with a good taste in their mouth. So they're more like open-minded the next time they meet an American. They're like, oh, maybe they're not all bad. Maybe they're not terrible people. You know, maybe you can have a conversation and relate with them. But
I like that.
I think there's just a lack of representation because we don't travel that much.
And it is changing, and that's true. It's always the squeaky one that gets the most notice, and it's a couple of really bad tourists that make it bad for everybody. You know, that's and it's too bad we all get painted with a brush. And like you said, the States does have that reputation, but there's more now. I think the internet is opening that up more and showing more travelers like you guys who really do it the right way and the right respect. It's coming. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm just removing here our
Oh, okay.
Push Studios vlogs. That is not our channel.
Yeah, that's not ours. Yes, that's. You were talking tonight about the other side of YouTube. There's one of the examples right there.
Yeah. By the way, everybody in the chat, this is not our channel. It's somebody impersonating us once again. So don't follow.
Damn, you guys have impersonators already? I don't even have an impersonator. That's flattering. That's
don't
to
even
a certain
start.
extent.
That was successful.
We'll talk sometime with that one.
Yeah, there is a huge. It's a long story.
We can move on.
Yeah, move on. So, do you ever think of doing a book about your travels? So turning your videos into the book format?
I definitely have. A lot of my viewers more recently have been kind of pushing me to be like, yeah, you should write a book. I don't know that I'm like. I feel like once again, I feel like I'm so young right now that the story that is to be told about my life is yet to come. Like I've experienced a lot, but there's still so much coming. So I don't know if I would want to write a book yet. But I think if there's any moment to write a book on, it was the trip that I did last year, which was like circling the globe over the course of the year. It was just such an incredible adventure with so many crazy stories and so many things that happened. A lot of like personal growth and emotional growth and it was just the most incredible thing I've ever done in my life, like to just circle the globe. And I think I would write a book about that someday. Doing it at 21 too is not something that a lot of people can do or say that they can do. So I might do that one day.
That was what a fantastic adventure, by the way. And I mean, truth be told, I haven't got to see every one of them yet. I try my best. We get so many notifications, but I've caught some of them. And I mean, and once again, you wear it like you're having the time of your life, and that's why I love it. I feel like you're just enjoying it all. The passion into it, there's nobody can take that away, you know.
Yeah.
Very cool. I was just looking too. Your 90,000 subscriber mark wasn't that long ago, was it?
No, New York did good. I was
2 months
kind
ago.
of picked up a little bit here recently.
This is awesome. Oh, your channel's going to be now that you hit 100,000, it's into the run where you're not going to be in the 1 in front of it very long. There's going to be a 2. I don't see it taking very long.
It's been very cool. I'm still trying to figure out how the YouTube system works with all this because it's crazy to me that. I mean, I know that algorithmically something is going on, but since our live stream that we've done, 2,000 new people have come to the channel. Like 2,000 new people have subscribed to the channel.
I know.
But they're like, I know that they're not getting notifications for my videos. Like, I know they're not arriving because my view count is not representative of my subscriber count in the slightest. So I'm just trying to like figure out in my world, like, does the subscriber count even matter at this point? Like, if people are subscribing but nobody's watching, what's happening here? Where's the disconnect?
Yes.
You know, what am I getting somebody to subscribe for? It's a little frustrating, but I'm slowly starting to figure it out. So hopefully I figure it out soon.
Well, we just had Val's life come in. She said, "Oh, the bell didn't go again. You know, for notification."
Yeah, that's been a huge issue. It's like I tell people in every video, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and when I do a live stream or if I premiere a video, they get a notification 20 minutes after the video is done.
Or 2 days after.
Or a week. We had a person who had a notification a week after our live streams.
Yeah.
And they just did a video, Creator Insider, about notification, and I think the explanation made it even less understandable than it was before.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
It is. It's crazy. Oh my. So you are taking off to your travel of the lifetime again, the lifetime. Do you know what your first destination is?
So I want to take a vacation because I haven't ever taken a vacation in 5 years.
Thank you
I'm
very
trying
much.
to plan that out. I originally thought that basically what I was going to do was I was going to leave New York in about a week, 2 weeks time from now, and I was going to drive up to Canada. I was going to drive up to the really close border of like Montreal. I wanted to go see a moose. It's been a really big dream of mine to go see a moose. I've
Oh,
never seen one before. So I planned this little road trip to Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, maybe the border of Canada. I'm not sure if I feel like driving all the way up to Canada, and then looping back down and going to Miami from there. So if I don't vlog that, that'll be my next travel destination, is like kind of like a vacation. But
if you do
besides
that,
that,
you let
yeah,
us know if you're close to the border. I mean, we
yeah.
can.
We'll are you guys in Montreal? Is that where you live?
Yeah, we're right in Montreal.
Oh,
Yeah,
now maybe I have an incentive to drive to Canada.
I believe so.
Okay, I'll definitely let you guys know. My plan is to take it very, very chill. I want to relax because I've been grinding so hard in New York,
Of course.
and it's been so much city. I feel like I need to go back to the nature for a little bit and take a step back. So I'll definitely let you guys know if I'm in the area for sure. We should do some stuff.
Oh, I love that.
Definitely.
So yeah, keep us in mind if you're up that way. Just give us. I'm gonna actually give you my phone number after. I'll give it to you in Twitter.
Yeah, definitely. Shoot that over to me.
Because that's always better than doing Messenger.
But I know that on the map for the year is Armenia. I definitely want to go to Armenia at some point this year.
Oh wow.
I know I want to go to India at some point. I want to go to Ethiopia. I want to go to Rwanda. Those are all countries that are on the list.
Nice.
They're off the beaten path. And then in the cargo ship department, I want to do a Pacific crossing. And then want to cross the Suez Canal and pass the Horn of Africa, past Somalia, to go see if I can find pirates. So that's the biggest goals right now that are on the table. We'll see if I can do it. And then on the overarching scheme, I want to try to climb Mount Kilimanjaro in the next year or so if I can. But I'm trying to get in shape for that. So we'll see what happens.
And I'm just showing everybody your cruise. This is how we found the Traveling Clat years ago. Was we were looking at traveling by cargo ship, which he did, and I think it's just one of the coolest things. And as you've heard, he's got lots more cool things to come and then some, which is so. What an amazing adventurer. You're not a traveler, you're an adventurer. I think that's a fair statement.
Well, he's
I'm
climbing.
an adventurer.
He's climbing Kilimanjaro. I mean, I don't know. You know, like if you're watching your videos, you would think, well, what is the next crazy thing you could ever possibly do? I mean, this is the pinnacle. Literally.
There's always a one up.
Yeah, there's
Yes.
always one up. I don't know what you ever can do after that, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna figure something out.
I have so many ideas up in this head. Like there's so I keep it quiet because I don't want people to think I'm crazy, but I have seriously a lot of ideas. It's just time, and eventually, hopefully, God willing, I'll have money to do it in the future. You know, like there's some stuff here in my brain that I want to make come to life that are truly, truly crazy. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, you think outside the box, and I think adventurer is a better suited title for you than traveler. I really do, and I think it's absolutely awesome. And unfortunately, with that said, I mean, we can't take any more of your time, but this has been phenomenal. So I've enjoyed this so much. God.
Thank you so much for taking your time.
Thank you guys so much for having me, and I hope for everybody in the chat that stuck along, we can give them another round of applause.
That's right. I like your.
This was for real. This was really fun. I told you guys I've been doing a lot of like these little interviews and stuff recently, but this really flew by. Like I didn't even feel it. Like it was really a very natural and fun conversation.
Well,
so
we are truly big fans, and like I said that night was such a fluke that you just had to be on, and I'm so. I honestly, I'm honored that we got to be some small part in doing that with you. It opened up a whole new chapter where we actually got to sit down and talk with you in that.
Honored as well, my friends. Honored as well.
That was so much fun. I can still see you guys. Yeah, like some Pusa Studios. What are they? And everybody says that right away. We're just from Adam.
It's like, hey for Pusa, what's going on? That was crazy.
Yeah. Now that was a record. 158 in 30 minutes. That was a record we have never done before.
It's the connection. It was meant to be. This is destiny right here.
I was sitting there in my pajamas, and it literally was. You even did the live stream in pajamas.
Yeah. You pulled me out of the bed. We gotta, he's getting to 200K. And I knew exactly who he's talking about right away. I'm like, yes, we gotta do this.
I was like, I had no idea what was going on, and I was trying to find the stream. I don't remember if you guys sent me the stream or if somebody tweeted it at me, but I got it and I was like, okay, I'm live streaming right now, so I can't watch your stream. We're like, let me super chat them real quick so they know I've seen it. Let me get out of here. Go back to my stream. It was a mess, but incredible at the same
And
time.
we seen you say that. We're telling it in our chat. We're like, no, his money's no good here tonight. Don't super chat. We just
Yeah, I remember that. That was funny stuff. But anyways, guys, I want to pop off because I got a lot of work to do.
No problem.
Yes, thank you so much, and I will definitely
for
meet
having
in
me again.
reality.
And guys,
Keep
make
up the
sure.
great work.
And there's a video coming out soon. I forgot to ask you about why you call yourself the Traveling Clat, because you said it that night. Is it coming?
Yes, it is coming soon. I don't know when because I'm working really hard on it. I'm trying to put it together like a nice story. So I don't have an estimation. Probably another month or 2 months, maybe. I don't know. I'm working on it.
Because we didn't ask you about it. I know you're waiting for that one, even though the curiosity's killing the cat. So, guys, you got to make sure to keep your eye out for that, because I'm so curious after all this time. It's going to be awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. You're the best. We'll talk soon. All right, give me your number.
I
We'll talk
shall.
on Twitter, okay?
No problem. And
Definitely.
give our best. Give our
Keep in
best to
touch.
Jacob as well. Okay.
We'll do.
Take care for now.
Bye, guys.
Bye now. Oh my God, that was so awesome.
That was so awesome, and time really flew by. I thought it was like 9, and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But that's exactly it. And I think we could talk for hours more, and really hope we can meet up in life too, in the middle of his travels.
That's right.
Sometimes you just really click with people, and you never know. It's so awesome.
And guys, there is the Traveling Clat, one of the first videos we ever seen by him. He traveled across the Atlantic on cargo ship, a phenomenal adventure. And he does so many great things like that, you know, that you don't see on the other travel channels.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that about his channel. You know, we're always saying to you guys, you know, the only unique thing you have left to bring to YouTube is yourself. Here is the poster boy for that in every shape and form. The type of travel he does, the way he does these adventures, the way he vlogs, and that is so individual.
And very real, and that's what I like about it.
Definitely. No, huge fan. This guy is awesome.
You know, and it is...
Oh my God. Your money's not good here tonight again.
Come on. Come on. We'll have to tennis that back somehow.
Yes, exactly. We were so glad that you joined us tonight. This was after watching, because guys, until we did that with him for his 100K at the end, I mean, it was just a small part of what he's earned all himself. We've watched him for over 2.5 years. We've never spoken or anything like that, and he is just exactly what I was hoping he would be. No, it does. If you do not have the Traveling Clat, guys, you got to grab him and follow his adventures. I truly mean that. This channel is just, he had 100, and now I do believe it's just going to springboard out of control.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's so cool to think about that we were just having a conversation years ago about traveling on cargo ships. We're looking on information about that on YouTube. His channel came up. And now, you know, 2 years later, we had him on our channel here, and instantly really feels like we have a connection as well. That is so crazy.
He's too good to us when he already realized he's done so much for us, you know.
I mean, really. Guys, and if you're just coming into the live stream, please check it out.
Yeah.
Really amazing tips about YouTube. Also great insights, some things that we learned as well. And of course, traveling, amazing guy, the Traveling Clat, and you probably have heard his name already before during our 100K pop-up live stream 2 weeks ago. Hope you can really check it out and check his channel.
You know, tonight is one of those ones. That's why I like doing the interviews. This, if you wonder why we like doing them, tonight was a shining example of that. It really was. Great conversation. This is where people who really care about YouTube and stuff like that come to hang out and talk and all that stuff on those things. An amazing guest with tons of knowledge, sharing it, not just about his craft of traveling, but about YouTube as well, and that his struggles through it. And you see, once again, guys, there's somebody with 100K that's had lots of stories in the last bit, feeling about YouTube the way you do right now. That's something we all share in common, and it doesn't go away to get bigger. It really is a labor of love. Oh, thank you, Chills TV. You guys are so awesome. I want to welcome Simply Jen as well. Great to see you. All you guys are in here tonight. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. What a wealth of information. And if you haven't hit the like button, please do, guys. And it's not too late to tweet it out and give so other people can come back who couldn't get to see it right away. I think this is another one of those interviews that everybody should see. We only had 42 subscribers just, a little over a year ago, and now we get all these amazing guests on and all you amazing people in the chat. And it is a very rewarding feeling. We have our ups and downs like everybody else and that, but nights like this really make you feel like you're doing something. So
we hope that you can leave a comment after the video uploads. Leave us a comment. Where have you traveled? Or maybe there's a place that is in your bucket list and you really want to go to. Leave that below in the comments after video gets uploaded. We really appreciate that. And if you haven't hit the like, do that as well. We love when you do that. Thank you so much. Tomorrow we're going to be back with Tuesday Tech Talk. As always, I think it, guys, is one of your favorite live streams of the week. Tech Talk Tuesday. Last week was kind of emotional special Tech Talk Tuesday. This time we're going to get right to it and talk about YouTube and all of the questions that you and we here have about that and try to answer them all together. As always, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. Val's Live.
You don't have to do that. We love you too.
Love you too. Thank you
You're
so
sweet.
much.
Great to see you. Thank you so very much. I'm glad you could make it in. I'll be researching this. Hope Respect says. And Chills TV, we are following you on Twitter, but I had to go look manually because you don't have your link in your About section. So get that in there. You got Twitter, show it off to everybody. It's important. Val, you're crazy for that. You don't have to do that.
I hope that I'm not only one make an OBS script program to make live for us support channels. Not sure what you mean by that, but probably not. Lots of people are using OBS. Well, to everyone, have a blessed night. That's right. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, you guys are absolutely awesome. I really do appreciate it. I think if anyone gets hate comments, you should be able to send hate comments back to that person instead of blocking them.
Oh, why? Just ignore.
Yep, it's better off. You don't want to get into a mudslinging match. That just causes more and more problems,
Yes.
The life is too short. There's a billion plus channels, and even for the people that don't like us, and I know there's rightfully so people that don't like us. I get that they don't like our voice, the way we do it, whatever. That's understandable. I'd rather see them go and spend their energy on something that's more beneficial to them. So.
And you know what? You're not forced to watch us.
Yeah, that's right. And I want to welcome Jason AU Colorado as well. How are you doing? Good to see you. Hope all is well.
Finley River Canals, Jeff. Was your first time here, so welcome
yes.
here, and I hope to see you again.
It was a pleasure having you. I'm glad you enjoyed the conversation and everything. And if you just got in late, definitely one you want to put back and see. We've watched our guest tonight for about 2.5 years, but only met recently when he was about to hit 100K and hit a little bit of a lull, the same as everybody gets when we hope to get to 1,000 or 100 or something like that. And we went on, and that's how we met, doing that way. And everybody teamed together, and in 30 minutes got him 158 subscribers, putting him way over 100,000.
Yeah.
So, and he is one absolutely amazing interviewee. Thank you so much, Just Pamela. Really do appreciate it. And remember, Hope Respect, that you are amazing, and it's your amazingness that makes our channel what it is. So thank you for bringing your amazingness here.
If you want to know when we're on next, ring the bell and subscribe. If you're on mobile, don't forget to ring that for all notifications, and follow us on Twitter to know when we are on. Thank you so much for joining us today.
And Madam Pango, we're glad to find you as well. I mean, it's always a two-way street. It's nice to connect with great channels. So thank you so much for being here. I just realized the music is all off. I forgot that I muted it when it was on the upper part. Oof, that was so crazy with all that quiet. It feels so weird now not to have music playing while we're on. We went so long without it, but now it's just become second nature. So
yeah, by the way, music is featured by MU Free Music. If you're looking for free audio files for your videos, that's where you can go and check it out. It's free and copyright free.
That's right. Awesome music and an awesome guy. That 100K event was so exciting and fun. Steinnorth, that is so true. It was a lot of fun. And I got to say, I was on the panel with Steinnorth the other night with Ben on Cab 7s. And he said one of the things, there's something every now and then that just makes you feel good about your day. And he said, he took about 5 minutes to tell me, he said, I've been listening to Pusa, and I'm not saying this to brag us up, this was his words, not mine, but he said he's taken what we've been saying all along, and he keeps updating his channel. And he said especially about how much he's realized since he added the playlist to his homepage, how much watch time he's getting, and he can't believe it. And it's nice to say that because sometimes we sound like a broken record. And there is living proof once again, guys. Steinnorth's words, not mine. And it's not us that invented it that way. We just pass on what we've learned over time and picked up. And Steinnorth ran with it. And he said he is getting great watch time now. So that was awfully nice to hear. And I want to show his channel very quickly, guys. And if you don't have Steinnorth, subscribe to him. And as you can see, he's not a 16-year-old YouTuber into Fortnite. So for him to take all the work and just kept getting better and better and better over time, I think is so inspiring. That made my night, made my weekend, if you will. So.
Well, I want to mention the Hurley clan, who is actually Beauty and the Geek, that won the wheel yesterday. Not only they already managed to change their name, but also do a banner on their channel as per our suggestions yesterday. So they are revamping their channel completely and came in to thank us for it as well. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate your feedback when you do. It really means a lot to know that we can help you on this way. We can help each other because we're in it together.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. And guys, you know what? It works for us too, because if these things are working out, that's the best advertising we've ever had, was doing helpful things that work for other people, because then it gets out to other people. So we're not just saying stuff just to make life hard on you, change this, change that, to put pulling string. It's because it works best for us if you guys are doing well too. So it's a two-way street as always. Look at the thought bubble in his last video. Oh yes, because you were talking about the open water is coming. Oh, sorry. There we go. Open water is coming.
Jess CL, welcome here.
Nice. I love that too. And that's what Video College Show was talking about the other night. That's right. Because the thought bubbles like coming from the raccoon and stuff like that and everything. I mean, really, he took my advice. Yes, that's right. He certainly did. And it looks great. It really does. It plays well into it.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Most definitely.
And that's why it's great when we guys can talk with each other. By the way, if you want to drop by our Discord, there's a huge discussion that I'm going to dive into, not only about our shoutouts, but also about each other's channels. People are sharing their thoughts on each other's about sections, manners. There's a whole discussion going on. So if you want to drop your question about your YouTube channel and you want a fast answer, that's the place to go. A great think tank available all the time on our Discord server.
And Grant, no worries, buddy. We'll help you out with that one. Just remind me later on this week, but we'll get to that for you. Just message me through Twitter, through Hangouts, and we'll definitely take care of that for you. So you've been nothing but amazing today and every other day to us. So much love to you and Jenna, by the way. I know you're working right now, if I'm not mistaken. So with that said, guys, I think it's time to call it an evening, but thank you so much. You guys are always make these live streams so amazing. Without you guys, no live stream. Simple as that. So stay awesome, each and every one of you. We'll see you guys tomorrow night with Tech Talk Tuesday. And until then, just keep being your amazing selves. Much love to you all. Have a great night, guys. Bye now.